Welcome, everyone, to the Phoenix Report. I am Jack Connor, and it is finally time that I got these two knuckleheads in for yet another wrestling-related podcast. We haven't done one in a while. But we were talking about, because I talk with these two guys all the time about what is going to be our next podcast. Because we used to do like monthly pay-per-view reviews years ago, but there's so many of them now. There's so many shows, and it's a lot to keep up with. I mean, we may do something like that, like a classic pay-per-view. We have a lot more fun doing those, actually. And just kind of looking back, the last time we got together, I think we did the commentary for the movie No Holds Barred. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, this time we are doing the 1987 Slammy Awards that WWF had back then. Back in 1987. It was mainly used as a promotional vehicle for Pile Driver, the wrestling album 2. I had thought that this aired on MTV, but it might have aired on either the USA Network or possibly on network TV and syndication, if you can believe that. Cory and I were talking about this, so I figured, I'll get the guys on here. First of all, you guys know him as the original guest of my podcast. He's been a friend of mine for years. Great musician, certainly a wealth of knowledge when it comes to pro wrestling. Please welcome from the band Chronochord, C-Dub, a.k.a. Cory. Cory, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Tally ho.
You got a tally ho already. I can tell we're excited. And then, of course, a man who I'm convinced is the long-lost illegitimate son of Bobby the Brain Heenan, Brian Connolly, former FCW referee. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? It's been a minute. How are you guys? Still kicking and still watching terrible wrestling.
It is, and we've got a doozy tonight. As far as I guess you could say has to be like peak golden age rock and wrestling WWE or WWF as it was back then at the time. Like this is just if you had to distill like what Vince McMahon's vision of sports entertainment was. This has got to be it. It's loud. It's very over the top. Has little to do with actual wrestling
or award giving. It has very little.
Or really awards. None of the awards really mean anything.
Yeah.
It's a complete waste of everybody's time, and that's why we're here.
To me, this is like if Vince McMahon, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and David Lynch just all came together and made this fucked up fever dream of a experience.
I was just going to use the term fever dream to describe.
I was just thinking the same thing too. It's like I'm watching this and I can't believe this actually aired on television.
So I saw it when I was 7 years old on Fox. It was on Fox Television, so it was on a Fox major network.
Holy, okay, so
and I lived in Connecticut at the time, so. They showed
it could have been syndicated, maybe.
Yeah, you never forget, and very fitting that it's 9/11. You never forget clicking on such a thing when you're 7 years old.
I feel like I should mention as we are recording presently. It is September 11th, 2022. So of course, what are we doing to honor this terrible day in our history? Is going back to.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to make any comparisons between the two because,
this was a dumpster fire, but thankfully no one was actually, no lives were actually lost as far as we know in the making of this.
Surprisingly, this is the show that made me say 35 years later, I'm still watching this bullshit. Why?
Really? So this really hooked you into WWE as a kid?
Between this and Saturday Night's Main Event, 2 months prior, when the Mega Powers formed. Okay. Dude, 1987, when you think it was post WrestleMania 3.
It was a big year.
Yeah, man, there's a lot going on. And the fact that they were on NBC with Saturday Night's Main Event, they were on Fox with this. I'm pretty sure it was Fox, because they used to show Superstars and Wrestling Challenge and American Gladiators all on that same channel.
That would make sense. And then 2 months later, they had the most viewed pro wrestling event of all time, the main event with Hogan versus Andre.
Exactly, right after this. So they had so much momentum, believe it or not, with this demonstration. And Pile Driver had just come out. So, like...
Demonstration is really, like, the perfect term for this.
It really is, because, I mean, as we mentioned, it basically was a huge promotional vehicle for Pile Driver, which was the second wrestling album that came out. The year before, in 1986, they had on MTV, they aired the 1986 Slammys. That was in Baltimore. I mean, I'm assuming, and I went back and watched that one. That was...
You've done more research than I have. I have not seen that.
That is also on YouTube. This event, like the Slammy Awards, it used to be on the WWE Network when WWE Network was in the States. Now internationally, if you're listening to this outside of America, I don't know if it is on your country's version of the WWE Network, but it's not on Peacock in the States currently, but you can find it on YouTube.
Right. It used to be. There used to be a channel, so I don't know about internationally. There could be a separate section, but yeah, we had to watch this on YouTube.
Right.
I had not seen it since 1987 when I was 7.
So, I mean, but the 86 Slammys is on YouTube as well. That was in Baltimore, and I think that must have been filmed at a WWE house show or live event, because I could have sworn I saw a ring in the background.
Right on.
This was something else entirely. This was at Caesars in Atlantic City. So they had a theater, for like a genuine theater, like no wrestling was involved for this event. I think a lot of the musical numbers were filmed on a soundstage though, because that like they didn't cut to the audience at all. And we can get into this as the show goes on.
I hope somewhere in this world there is rehearsal footage of them running over these.
Oh man.
I mean that's the other thing, like with the crazy schedule they had on the road, like when did they have time to rehearse all this?
I don't know, man. That was a busy year for them, but they had less pay-per-views. They were only doing Survivor Series and WrestleMania.
So in Bret Hart's book, he actually talks about this event. Taping. And he basically says that it took forever for them to do this because, I mean, it's a bunch of wrestlers performing songs, and nobody got paid for it.
That's crazy to me. Like, they didn't get paid for the actual, for their time, spending on this. And, because you could tell, I mean, look, these guys are not singers and dancers, but they obviously worked hard at this and tried to do the best they could with it.
No, Jack, I mean, let's, Vince McMahon, if anything, Vince McMahon proves that he might have been born to be a singer and a dancer by the time the night's up.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to him in a minute.
And I remember in Bret Hart's book him saying Stu Hart just holding his head in his hands.
Oh, my God.
What the hell is this company you're working with?
If you're a wrestling purist at this time, you think it's going to be this great thing. Oh, man, he's going national. He's creating this big company. Wrestling is going to be mainstream. And then it's this.
Right, and
it's basically like a Vegas cabaret.
Right off the bat, we should acknowledge Vince McMahon's impassioned speech at the very top of the broadcast.
We're going to go through this scene by scene and beat by beat. So we will get into that. But I'm just trying to
preacher. It was very disturbing.
Yeah, it was. We will definitely touch on that in a minute. But we're just trying to set the table here. This isn't going to be like a strict watch-along or like a commentary track, although if you want to follow along with this, if you're listening, I will provide a link to this in YouTube so you can see this for yourself. We're not making this up.
I don't think I can handle another go watching this.
Yeah, so, but again, we're trying to set the table and to let you know exactly what this was. But yes, as I said, this was filmed at Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City. For some reason, it was billed as the 37th annual Slammy Awards.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
This thing's been going since 1950.
Yes, we are led to believe that this has been going.
I even looked up, the Grammys that year. It wasn't the 37th. So, I don't know where they got 37th from. It was just a random... They're just being stupid.
I mean, Kevin Smith had not made Clerks yet, so it's not a reference to that movie.
I know. It's hard to think of a time when 37 was not a Kevin Smith reference.
I mean, it was in New Jersey, I will say that. And this had predated when they went back to Atlantic City for WrestleManias 4 and 5.
Yeah.
You know, for Trump Plaza and the Boardwalk Hall, and so maybe this somehow led to establishing, like, I don't know, maybe the fact that they chose Atlantic City for this, maybe that somehow led into them making the deal for WrestleMania 4 and 5. I don't know.
There's a good chance he ran into Trump trying to acquire cocaine for this festivities.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, I'm surprised Donald didn't come out and do a song and dance number.
How much did it take to get them to do this? That's what I would like to know.
I think we may have just perhaps tapped into the why this event even happened. It was potentially a money laundering scheme for the mafia.
Really creating their own boardwalk empire here based on the Slammies.
It's good to know 35 years later, Vince McMahon has not engaged in any other shady behavior.
No.
He got it out of his system.
No,
not he's been a saint.
I've never been charged with any crime ever.
You're right, Vince. Absolutely.
A great man named John Laurinaitis.
I mean, honestly, we could not have picked a better year other than 2022 for us to look back at this.
I can't believe what we're about to talk about, what we're experiencing. Everything about this year is insane.
I mean, I look at all the dancers that were on this thing, and I wonder, like, I wonder how many of them were propositioned.
There's some hush money being thrown around. I got some good notes because I didn't even realize the significance of the very last. We'll get to it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, do you guys just want to get it started right now, and everyone at home can listen, following along?
You've set the table. Now we're going to destroy it.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so those of you following along, again, this is not a strict watch along, but if you want to check it out on YouTube while we're checking this out, this is the only place, as far as I know, that you can see it, unless you have like an old like VHS or bootleg copy or however, which I'm sure Brian and Cory both do.
No, I don't.
Somewhere.
I do actually.
Nice.
I do actually have a copy that I acquired from tape trading way back in the day.
I have
give Jim Cornette a run for his money.
I only have Pile Driver, the VHS, the videos, but not the Slammy Awards. And I have Pile Driver on vinyl, so I'm an extra nerd.
Amazing. That's fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so we are going to get it started right now. I've actually got it on in the background. I've muted it, so I'm just like kind of glancing up and watching it, just sort of again in the background, just to refresh my memory a little bit. But we open with a helicopter shot zooming in towards Atlantic City with a voiceover by Mean Gene Okerlund, calling Atlantic City the entertainment capital of the universe. Of the universe.
Hardly in 1987.
Well, the universe. Yes.
I mean, I look, I like Atlantic City. I grew up going there, but like,
we hadn't seen much of the world by 87, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up going to Atlantic City as a kid, but it's like, I mean, it's not even the entertainment capital of the East Coast.
It hasn't aged well either.
I mean, you could argue that it is the entertainment capital of New Jersey. I mean, that's, you know, not a high bar, but I mean, sure, you could say that.
And you can argue.
No.
Arguing going on.
Sure.
Anyone from Jersey will be arguing just to pass time.
For sure. So, but yes, he says it's not the Oscars, it's not the Emmys, it's not the Tonys. I mean, it's kind of close to the Tonys. Let's be honest.
It's girls in cars.
It's yes.
It's definitely not the Oscars.
How much teasing of girls in cars was there all night, and then to finally have it pay off?
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me, we will get the girls in cars.
God. Like, it's such blatant misadvertising.
You know, I didn't know if it was because the footage was older or if this is because an old VHS rip, but like the outdoor shot of Atlantic City looks very brown. Like maybe it was shot like around sunset, but like it just like, was that the best helicopter shot they could get like at sunset?
I mean, there's no HD. There's no HD. Remember, it's 87.
Surely they could get some better stock footage than that. No, I mean, I don't know.
You're giving a lot of credit to whoever whipped this together.
I mean, I'm sure the Atlantic City Tourism Board probably had better footage than that.
By the way, before I forget,
I feel like
in the credits, the director's credit goes to one Kayfabe.
Oh yes.
Which it's got to be Kevin Dunn.
Kayfabe actually passed away after the airing of this. It's
right.
She had a massive heart attack. It was a terrible tragedy.
Most people did. I was 7 years old, so I survived.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
I was gonna say it has to be that son of a bitch Kevin Dunn that had something to do with it.
Yeah. We're gonna believe
right off the bat, like that shot did not look good. But either way, like the shot zooms in towards Caesars as Mean Gene like pretends in the voiceover to be in the helicopter, and they simulate a crash into the building. Classic comedy.
I'm sure he wishes he was so he could jump out.
Right.
Helicopter.
And really, this whole thing was sort of a helicopter crash of a television program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In many ways. But then Howard Finkel voices over the intro as we see clips of various wrestlers pulling up to the red carpet. First we have Hulk Hogan in full, sleeveless formal wear on a motorcycle.
No worse. They all showed up in different cars, only to be shot for half a second.
Oh yeah. Then it took me a second because I wrote down like everyone who was coming up and like what vehicles they were wearing. It was something else.
This is like the WWF's answer to Wacky Races.
I was just gonna say it felt like a live action version of Wacky Races.
Well, Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, they all had their own kind of vehicles in that too.
Yeah, I was expecting McGilla Gorilla and Penelope Pitstop to pull up, and Snidely Whiplash. But yeah, then Coco Beware and Frankie get out of a limo. Then
Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie the Bird, of
Even
course.
Frankie rides style.
Because let's give these jacked up, drug addicted meatheads live animals to take care of. Nothing could go wrong there.
I mean, at that point, I'd say Frankie probably had as bad of a habit as anybody else.
Frankie was out of control.
I would like to correct.
I'm waiting for his Dark Side of the Ring special.
That's WWE Coco Beware we're talking about.
Right.
The Prestige.
That's right.
So then the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase with Virgil and the Fabulous Moolah coming out of what looks like an ambulance.
I think it was supposed to be like a.
It was supposed to be like a paddy wagon or like a one of those Brinks armored vehicles.
Yeah,
an armored. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that kind of tracks with Ted and Virgil, and I guess Moolah was working with them at the time. So I mean, it's right there in her name. So it makes sense.
Because she had the money sign on her tights.
Sure. Yeah.
And so DiBiase. Unnatural.
So then the British Bulldogs with Matilda, the Bulldog, coming out of what looks like sort of like an airport shuttle van. Like they couldn't really spring for the limo. They just got like the whatever like the airport limo service, like quote unquote limo.
Whoever hooked them up with the best gimmicks, the airport shuttle van.
And then they have the Bolsheviks, who's Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, riding in on horseback.
As all Russians do.
I'm not sure where they got. I'm not sure where they got two horses in Atlantic City, New Jersey, but they found it.
In December 1987, right before Christmas.
I mean, and this wasn't even like That's the diving horse that went off the Steel Pier.
It's insane that they did all of this.
Yeah.
For what? For who? For us. 35 years later.
Then we had Strike Force, Tito Santana, Rick Martel, and then New Jersey's own Bam Bam Bigelow in a hot rod, like complete with flames painted on it. Now that looked pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
To match the tattoos on his head and his bodysuit. I don't know if Bam Bam owned that or what, but I mean it definitely fit. And then we had Demolition and Sika riding in a tow truck. Sika, the father of Roman Reigns, half of the Wild Samoans. I don't know where Afa was at this time. Was he in the company? I don't know.
I don't think he was.
I guess Sika was having a singles run.
Sika was having a singles run where he actually had a match with Hogan around this time on Saturday Night's Main Event.
That's right.
Well, there's more significance of Sika later on in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Roman Reigns' dad.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
So, then we had Mr. Fuji, Slick, and One Man Gang, along with the natural Butch Reed, who was wearing like a bow tie, a vest, trunks, and boots. He didn't quite commit to the formal wear.
Demolition had the best outfits by far.
Easily. It was basically their ring gear just with like a dress shirt and bow tie underneath. It was very classy.
Love it.
Yes.
I appreciate their efforts.
They all came in one big limo. Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a tuxedo T-shirt with a bow tie right there on his 2x4. That was great. I'm
going to go ahead and say too much Hacksaw Jim Duggan on this fucking show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hacksaw had a big role in this show. Then the Hart Foundation, along with Jimmy Hart and Greg the Hammer Valentine, coming in an ambulance with hearts decorated on the side.
They really went all out.
All right, well, yeah, they at least put some effort into it.
They took some cardboard paper, some construction paper, and went to the trouble of gluing it onto the van. Well done.
My wife's a kindergarten teacher. I feel like her students, could have made something that looks like that, and it would have been probably on par with what we got here.
Post WrestleMania 3, with all the money they made off of that, and this is what they're doing for decoration.
Then we had Brutus the Barber Beefcake arriving in an ice cream truck, while apparently giving some poor guy a haircut and a shave.
Oh man,
that wasn't shaving powder.
Then we had he was getting ready for the after party. Jake the Snake Roberts shows up with Damien.
Oh dear.
Macho Man Randy Savage and Elizabeth, they get out of a limo.
So much.
The Honky Tonk Man gets out of an older car, but not necessarily a pink Cadillac, which I was surprised by. I guess DDP wasn't available that weekend.
Can you imagine flipping through channels as a child and what is happening why are all these wrestlers arriving?
You have to know that somewhere in Titan Towers there's like an uncut version of the red carpet ceremony.
Oh, and I'm going
because this was several pieces of footage compiled together. So I'm like, they must have done actual interviews, and there must have been a full red carpet pre-show.
There needs to be a story behind the Slammy's DVD, the self-destruction of the Slammy
This
Awards.
might be a Dark Side of the Ring episode. We don't know.
Right. I mean,
it's not really dark. It's just perplexing.
This wasn't the last one. I mean, it was the last one for 10 years that they did, but even those ones they did.
I think 7 years, because I think in '94 they brought it back, right?
96.
They did. No. Actually, in 1994 they did have the Slammies, but it was on an episode of WWF Mania.
Yeah, I saw that on the network for a while. I don't know. I almost don't even count that. But
okay, so that's 7 year gap between the two.
Nothing was as grand of a scale as 80s.
Probably not long enough. Let's be honest.
Right. No one was ready for whatever the hell they had in store for us.
Yeah. So then we see the Heenan family, which is obviously Bobby Heenan, but Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy, King Harley Race, and Hercules, who was in a full Roman Centurion outfit.
That was very odd look for Hercules.
I mean, I guess it works because they're at Caesars, but it's it's like Greek and Roman. There's a big difference.
Here's a fun fact: every member of the Heenan family is dead.
Yes. Yeah, I guess everyone in there is no longer with us. So that's kind of sad. I thought Hercules Hernandez was still alive. No,
he's not only dead. He's buried at the same military cemetery as my grandmother and grandfather in Tampa, Florida. It's another fun fact I unearthed.
A little piece of Connolly family history there.
Research, yeah. I'm going to have to visit him next time I'm there.
Gotcha. Yeah, pay your respects.
To Hercules.
Of course. And then there was a hay truck that arrived with Ultimate Warrior, Hillbilly Jim, Outback Jack, the Haiti Kid, whoever that is. I'm not familiar with the Haiti Kid.
He was in the WrestleMania 3 midget match.
Oh, okay. So the Killer Bees were there as well.
What a group. to be on a hay truck.
Yeah, interesting way of getting there, but obviously it fits with Hillbilly Jim. I'm not sure how the Warrior fits into all that. But
Warrior was still new and not nearly as popular yet.
Yeah, he was still like right on the scene, and it wasn't really until him like beating the Honky Tonk Man for the IC title was when he really took off.
And that was later in August '88 when that happened. So
he was still fresh off the Indies, really very early in his career.
He was still far from self-destructing.
Yes. No, the self-destruction had not begun at this time.
Coming off being a dingo at this point in time.
Yeah.
That's right. Coming off being the Dingo Warrior down in Dallas for Fritz Von Erich.
Correct. That would be the WCCW, was it?
Yes,
World Class
that's
Championship
correct.
Wrestling.
It's great that Haiti Kid got thrown in with all these guys and Hillbilly Jim and Outback Jack, just random McGillicuddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And then finally, George the Animal Steel riding up on a bicycle with a basket on the handlebars.
Fantastic.
Where would George the Animal Steel get a bicycle? You would think he'd be like let in by like some handlers or something. He's this feral man.
He stole that bike from some kid somewhere. There's no doubt about it.
Without no doubt.
Yeah, he probably ripped it off of the boardwalk somewhere.
Yes.
So, yeah, it is very much the wacky races portion of this event comes to an end. And so Howard Finkel finally says that the Slammies are sponsored by Schlitz Malt Liquor.
Oh, God.
Which I didn't even know was a real thing. I heard people say it, but...
Oh, it's a real deal.
Is Schlitz Malt Liquor still around?
I doubt it.
I think Schlitz is still around, but I haven't seen it in quite a while.
All right, well, any malt liquor enthusiasts can let us know in the comments. So Schlitz Malt Liquor is the first sponsor. Then the National Dairy Board really went the other way on that one.
I can't believe these were actual sponsors.
Yeah, milk, it does a body good. Then there was Hall's Cough Drops.
Which he said brings you penetrating relief. I enjoyed
penetrating.
Wow.
I enjoyed hearing Howard Finkel say the word penetrating.
Brings you penetrating relief.
And then there was another sponsor.
Yeah, Oxy 10, the face cleaning pads for
he
zits.
Said I got to hear him say the word zits.
Zits.
Great.
I mean, just the sponsors here are all over the place. Like, who was the target audience for this show is what I'm wondering.
I think that's us.
I mean, I was 7 and I was very confused.
But you start with Schlitz Malt Liquor. I get that for the parents watching this, but this was mainly geared toward kids.
And I want to say my dad
and I guess teenagers with the Oxy 10 thing.
My dad was drinking some serious Schlitz in '87, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, now we know why.
33, 34 years old, yeah, and his son is watching this bullshit.
Now we know why.
His son is not only still watching this bullshit, he's discussing this bullshit with his idiot friends on Skype.
Yes, how far we've come. So
yes.
I mean, I guess this is trying to show us. I was trying to figure okay, who's the target demo for this audience?
Yeah, good luck
on the sponsors.
Figuring that out.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious though. We all know that this show was really brought to us by steroids, Percocet, and cocaine. Those were the main.
IcoPro had not been invented yet, but they were injecting something into their veins. And
oh yes.
I would like to point out once again, Howard Finkel, dead. Mean Gene, dead. Vince McMahon, still alive. His career's not, but he's still alive. I don't understand sometimes.
I mean, Vince McMahon looks like a Botoxed crypt keeper right now, but he's still with us. You know?
and now we can unequivocally say he is a living, breathing, gigantic, flaming piece of shit. There's no really reason to go back and forth and debate. Yes,
the visionary genius that is Vince McMahon. This goes to show you, by all accounts, that this man was never a creative genius.
No, I have no problem.
No.
You can't really defend it anymore. It's insanity.
I mean, look, greatest promoter of all time, no question there. I mean, certainly as a businessman, the guy keeps making money despite himself.
Exactly.
But,
he did book himself to beat God on pay-per-view. Let's not forget.
You can't deny what WWE did back then, but it's my God, some of his,
It's nice we can call it professional wrestling again. We don't have to focus on sports entertainment and all the just bullshit that he's been.
And so, speaking of Vincent K, here is the man of the hour. He's introduced to open the show.
Good God.
He comes out to the stage in the typical like tux with the red bow tie, holding, the Slammy trophy. And he says, quote, "Welcome to Circus Maximus, the traditional home of the Slammy Awards."
Very Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey.
It was not the traditional home of the Slammy Awards. This has only been a thing for 2 years.
He doesn't get out much, Vince. You can tell.
Yet it's the 37th annual. So figure that one out. That math doesn't quite add up.
You're already 10 minutes into the show and you're confused as hell by the sponsors, the number of the years it says it's been around.
I mean, unless back in 1950 he was, trying to present the award for miscongeniality between Gorgeous George and Luthez. I doubt it.
Probably, yeah. He was probably trying to present them like the Dundies at Dunder Mifflin.
Oh, yeah. No, I wrote that down later. This definitely comes off as like the Dundies.
He's giving up
from The Office.
His buddies that don't really care to be awarded.
I mean, the Dundies were more, made more sense and were better organized than this.
Yeah, this should have been at an Applebee's. It would have been
absolutely.
We could still do one.
I mean, I wouldn't sully the good name of Applebee's with this, but,
The good name. It's already been sullied by that terrible song, Fancy Like Applebee's. Do not.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, God.
No.
I'm envious of anyone
that's okay, the traditional home of the Slammy Awards. All right, Vince. So he claims that there are only winners at the Slammys. The live audience.
Boy.
Wrong.
Boy, you could sure say that.
The live audience, the viewers at home, and all the nominees who Vince says will be the better for having participated in this joyous celebration.
Yeah, they need to reach for the brass ring.
I doubt that very much. But also, when he says joyous celebration, he makes this face like he either tore one or both quads.
He had a stroke, perhaps.
Shat his pants, passed a kidney stone, or some combination of any of the above.
And there's a hemorrhoid in there.
I'm gonna go with all of the above.
Yes, definitely quads being.
I mean, he was like relatively metered at this point, but then his energy just gets turned up to 10, putting on this like Southern Baptist preacher voice.
I wrote down these are the first earliest signs of you seeing what a massive douche he was.
Yeah, this was years before the Mr. McMahon character was ever on TV.
But oh wait, the night is young.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's like a Southern Baptist preacher mixed with like a carnival barker.
And he's never seen a single movie by any of the actors that he mentioned. Bogart.
Yeah. He was comparing the two hosts for the evening to Olivier, Cagney, Sinatra, and Heckle and Jekyll.
What?
Heckle and Jekyll is such an old timey reference. I don't know if that was like a cartoon back in the day. I've heard like older folks refer to Heckle and Jekyll. I'm not familiar with that reference.
Nobody.
It was like two. It was like two cartoon birds or like crows.
Okay, was that from like Dumbo or from like Hanna-Barbera maybe?
It was old. I know that. It was probably from around the time of the first Slammy Awards.
Oh yes, back in 50. And normally I'm pretty good. Normally I'm pretty good about like older pop culture references, but I didn't get that at all. But that was like a big laugh, I guess. That was like Vince getting a big zinger to the two hosts that he introduced, Mean Gene Okerlund and Jesse the Body Ventura.
Pretty awesome seeing the two of them on stage together. But my God, the amount of bullying that Jesse Ventura bestowed upon Mean Gene. Called him a pipsqueak.
Jesse was roasting everybody tonight. He had no chill, as the kids say.
Mean Gene Okerlund, you're a fucking bitch.
Ease up on the language there, Jess. I'm just asking questions.
Mean Gene. Yeah, I can't do it, Jesse.
I wrestled Bob Backlund for 45 minutes, Gene. I know what I'm doing.
I was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam.
Both of these men are bald. One of them is embracing it more than the other one. The guy in the pink suit.
these two bald mustachioed gentlemen walk up to a WWF ring-styled podium, which I thought was a nice touch.
One of these men will later go on to be governor.
Yes, Jesse, the future governor of Minnesota, Ventura.
I would say you are hallucinating from some kind of fever dream if you were to try to convince me that man in the pink suit is one day going to be governor of Minnesota. Yeah. It's insanity.
No one could have seen that coming back then. So Gene asks Jesse if he is also honored to be hosting this event, and Jesse emphatically says no. I gotta say, I'm with Jesse on this one.
This gets better and better. The dialogue.
Jesse Ventura is really the unsung MVP of this whole thing because he's basically saying what we're all thinking.
And he's allowed to.
Jesse just cannot be bothered by this whole event.
No, like he's able to be a heel and it just works. Like he's just roasting everybody the entire time and it's great.
Do people even understand how absurd this shit is? That's one of the notes that I wrote.
Which by the way, normally Jesse's pink leisure suit with the tie-dye shirt, like under most circumstances, that would be the most ridiculous outfit in any room. But in this show, like he looks downright tame. Like it's
I know.
It's fairly understated.
Well, that's what's so great about them all getting out of their limos. It's just like it's absurdity right off the bat.
Like this is what Jesse wore on Casual Friday back in the day.
I appreciated the Jack Tunney cameo very briefly.
Oh yeah, no, we're getting to that in a second. So Jesse immediately claims that he's the host and starts healing on Gene. He says he's a movie star, so I'm assuming was Predator out by this time?
I believe it was.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, he has that legitimately was a movie star because Predator was a huge hit. He was in there with another future governor, Arnold. So
and future WWE Hall of Famer.
Very true. Very true. So Gene says that the votes for tonight were tabulated by President Jack Tunney on behalf of the WWF Academy of Sports and Sciences, which, as Jesse points out, that would make him Jack from the ASS.
Good Lord.
Classic stuff.
Yeah, that's good shit, pal.
You know Tunney, they planted
Tunney, you're a jackass.
Yeah. You mean I gotta introduce Jack from ass? So then Jack Tunney walks out and waves to just a chorus of boos. There was a lot of heat for Jack Tunney that night for some reason. I don't know.
Everybody hates him.
He just went backstage, said furthermore, and then faded into obscurity.
Yeah, he just walks out, waves high, and then
furthermore, I'll be dead in a few years.
Right.
Thank you, Howard.
That's all we need from you.
Tunney just walks out, waves high, and then just f's off to the back.
Waste everybody.
And again, I'm not sure how much of the crowd reaction was genuine or canned. Which, by the way, the canned reactions they still do that to this day.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say anyone in the audience was an employee of WWF because that's how they used to film primetime wrestling. Is you were required after a long day of work at Titan Tower, you have to sit and watch Vince McMahon do his bullshit for 2 hours.
Was this open to the public?
I would have gone.
You know what? This may have been like a corporate team building exercise for the company.
I mean, maybe.
Somehow.
I don't know how this could have boosted company morale, but
somehow it got them to WrestleMania 4.
It was probably just a huge tax write-off, I guess.
Right.
Had to be. It's the only way this can make sense. Anyway, so Gene presents the first award of the night. It's the nominees for Best Performance by an Animal. And it's funny, I wrote down, you can already tell that none of the awards tonight will have anything to do with actual wrestling. That's completely irrelevant.
Much like MTV's Video Music Awards has very little to do with their videos that they show.
Yeah, it's all character work tonight. Strictly character stuff.
That's noise made by an animal.
So Gene claims that this award has historically been a springboard for even greater achievements. I don't see how that is possible.
The fact that they took the time to make
in any scenario
kind of claim and backstory.
Yes. So the first nominee.
I'm pretty sure Bruno Sammartino won this award back in 60 something, and look at what happened to him.
Well, there you go. I mean, he was the Italian Superman. So
we have Cory here for his history.
Well, I mean, Gorilla Monsoon, ran away with this award back in the 70s. So there was that, and we'll get more of him later. But But the first nominee is Damien, Jake Roberts' Snake. By the way, Jake is wearing a tux jacket with no shirt underneath, practically about to kiss this snake on the lips. Like he's about to like make out with it with tongue. It's sure uncomfortable.
I'm sure he's wearing pants with no underwear underneath there.
He's just shirt cocking it the whole time.
He's got the snake between his legs.
I can smell the brute through the screen.
Oh yeah.
Brute should have been one of the sponsors as well.
Yeah. The next nominee, of course, is Frankie, Coco Beware's parrot. Coco, of course, was sporting arguably the best jerry curl in the business at this time.
Arguably.
He was well coiffed at this point.
Soul Glow.
He's basically in his typical sparkly ring gear. He probably had a sponsorship from Soul Glow at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Soul Glow.
Yeah, very sparkly, a lot of bedazzles on his ring gear. So the next nominee is Matilda, the British Bulldog's dog, who, it's funny, Matilda jumps out of Davey Boy's hands and almost mauls Frankie before they can separate the two animals.
Of course.
Matilda was not cooperating at all in this shot.
They all had a weird animal mascot back then. Oh, and that was, God only knows how many different versions of Damien there was.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jake murdered several on the road.
I'm sure.
Unsurprisingly.
I mean, Andre the Giant probably sat on half of them, but
one of them he put in the trunk of his rental car and it froze to death.
By the way, the thing about this event, there's no Piper, there's no Cyndi Lauper, there's no Andre. Thought that was interesting.
Piper had retired at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, I guess he was already doing movies at this point.
To film They Live, which was his attempt at going Hollywood.
Right.
And I love him.
And I would imagine that Andre simply refused.
Yeah. Not going to do it, boss.
I'm not going to that bullshit.
I believe Andre was away filming Princess Bride, or he probably had already.
Maybe, yeah.
He had already, yeah.
So he was trying to be a movie star too, him and Roddy.
Yeah, and then Jesse was in Predator, so these guys were making moves.
And also Andre has the stroke to say, I'm not playing bass for Hogan's fucking whatever.
That would have been amazing. Put Andre on drums or fake keyboards.
I'm not playing tuba. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
Andre wasn't there because he had dignity. And
anybody want to beat it?
Exactly. So Matilda, but as I said, Matilda not cooperating at all. And finally, the nominee was just George the Animal Steel was nominated.
Matilda taking a page from Larry, CM Punk's dog.
Of course.
Not giving a shit, not cooperating.
Exactly. So.
Oh, Larry.
Yeah. So, and then finally, George the Animal Steel was nominated, because he's an animal. Get it?
You get it, guys?
Waka, waka, waka. So, naturally, George ends up winning it. He, of course, takes his shirt off and then wanders aimlessly before the crowd tries to get him to the stage.
Which everybody should remove their shirts when they win an award and then just walk.
And, of course, with a physique like that, why wouldn't you?
Oh, my God. He was tremendous.
George Steele had to be one of the hairiest people I have ever seen in my life.
Even his action figure was hairy.
Despite being bald and clean shaven, everything below the neck is just fuzz. So he really lived the gimmick.
And he had the green tongue. God bless.
The green tongue. So eventually Hillbilly Jim helps George to the stage, and since he doesn't speak, he can't really give an acceptance speech.
You go! Hey! Like that.
Yeah, something like that. So rather than take the trophy, he spots the turnbuckle on the podium, and you can see where this is going. Naturally, he bites into it, getting the foam padding everywhere. And then George takes the trophy from the random woman presenting it and chases her backstage. Great stuff.
That's all the trophy that George ever needed.
Yeah, basically. He basically turns into Animal from the Muppets. Woman! Woman! Then Gene introduces the Honky Tonk Man, who's about to perform his theme song. So it's our first musical performance of the night.
Okay.
Gene calls the song "Doin' the Honky Tonk Man," but I thought it was later called "Cool Cocky Bad." I mean, whatever the name of the song is.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it was "Cool Cocky Bad" was the name of it.
Yeah. So we now have our first.
But I I do think on the actual album, though, I think it's just called Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
Get your shit straight, WWF.
Very, very disputed title, but we have our first musical performance of the night with Honky Tonk Man lip syncing and pretending to play guitar. There is a pink Cadillac in the background.
He did not lip sync because there was updated lyrics that were sang.
That's right.
So he did it live.
He said, "I want to hear you sing the Macho Man Blues instead of the Snake."
That's right.
That's right. I did hear that.
And I noticed that because they were just started feuding. In fact, if it wasn't for Honky Tonk Man, the Mega Powers never would have formed. So
there you go.
Honky Tonk Man's pretty goddamn significant.
Bingo.
I mean, one of the more iconic characters of that era, obviously Honky Tonk.
I consider him. I always consider him up there as one of the best of that era with $1 Million Man.
Is he in the Hall of Fame? If not, he should be.
He finally was inducted the same year as Beefcake and Tori Wilson and DX.
Okay.
But he's in there.
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. Deservedly so. He absolutely should.
It took him a minute because he was talking shit and hated everybody, as he should.
Yeah, Luke Gallows has plenty of stories about him.
Oh yeah, the buffet. It's coming out of your check, you fucking mark.
Exactly.
I had never noticed as a kid that he changed the lyrics because I've only seen it one time, but it's just one of those things I noticed 35 years later. Like, oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's a pink Cadillac in the background, not the one DDP owned. I know he drove that to WrestleMania 6.
Yeah. Nope, no DDP.
There's several dancers and like backup singers, quote unquote, in like the craziest like Vegas versions of like 1950s poodle skirts and hairdos, but like with an 80s twist.
Of course.
You know?
Right.
Jimmy Hart, who's the only one here with actual musical talent, is just sitting in the car enjoying himself.
Jimmy Hart wrote most of the great songs that we hear all night long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the MVPs of this whole scenario. Like, he's great.
And up until recently...
It's either one of the MVPs or one of the, guilty suspects, depending on how you look at it.
Yes.
Right.
He's one of the people we can blame for this.
You either praise him or point a finger of shame at him for this.
Yeah. But he's back there. He's enjoying himself. He's just nodding and clapping along. And eventually we see Jesse Lee Ventura pretending to play piano, complete with a solo.
Clearly not playing because they never show his hands.
Yeah, no.
And then I like that Honky Tonk Man's playing a goddamn acoustic guitar.
And pretending that's the guitar solo.
That always bothers me. It's like, can you at least try to fool me with an electric guitar? No.
Yeah, get him a hollow body, Gibson or something. But
I do fucking love this song though.
It's a great theme. Like, it's obvious. It tells you everything you need to know about this guy.
I didn't understand
everything that.
I didn't understand what Bret Hart and the Anvil were doing.
Oh yeah, no. We'll get to that in a second.
What was that about?
It's obvious that this is filmed on a separate soundstage rather than performed live at Caesars because the camera never cuts to the audience's reaction. Plus, Jesse is wearing a completely different outfit than the one we saw him wear just a minute ago.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's a completely different, different set of clothes he's wearing.
Continuity error.
But I mean, as cheesy as this was, it was relatively understated up until the Hart Foundation comes out to show off a few dance moves, if you can call it that.
Whatever the fuck happened there.
Now, basically, Bret.
Oh boy.
Bret does an Irish whip and then leapfrogs over Anvil. And it kind of reminds me of that awkward jock dance that Emilio Estevez does in the Breakfast Club. It's it's not really dancing, it's just a lot of athletic moves,
His jock ass. I want his jock ass.
I want that jock ass on TV.
To do a dance.
Yeah, it's like a crazy foot. It's like Milli Vanilli, how they do the football bump,
Yeah.
And that would qualify as dance moves. It's kind of what they were working with here. But again,
I mean, Bret Hart is the excellence of execution, just not tonight.
Right. Ironically,
not
more personality than out of Bret Hart tonight than we've probably ever seen out of him. Ever.
Well, up until this point, yes, he was.
Yeah. And probably after this point. Let's be honest.
He was a charismatic vacuum up until this point.
Yeah. So, Jim Neidhart trying to do the hand jive and then getting frustrated will never not be funny. Just like what's going on here?
A hand jive from the anvil beats a hand job from the anvil.
I'm honestly not sure what's worse.
See Virgil.
I like how the canned crowd reaction is all boos at this point.
Yeah, man,
it's all like pre-recorded boos. I mean, honestly though, as these things go, it wasn't all that terrible.
It's
like you know what you're getting when it comes to the Honky Tonk Man, and we were just getting started with the musical performances. We will see that in a little bit.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Then Gene, after this is over, then Gene introduces Jimmy Hart and the Honky Tonk Man, who we just performed, to present the next award.
Oh boy.
So they come out there with the random presenter girl. They come to the podium, and Jimmy says that Honky Tonk Man. I'm sorry, it's just Jimmy Hart and the presenter girl. They come out. Jimmy says Honky Tonk Man will not come out without a proper introduction. Classic stuff.
Love it.
Classic heel stuff. So I wrote down, they don't seem to be sweating at all from having just performed a second ago, which I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh, that's
They are there to present the award for Woman of the Year, which is hilarious considering how few women are in WWE at this time.
Nor did they treat them or think of them as women.
I mean, I'm assuming like Wendy Richter and the Jumping Bomb Angels are nowhere to be found for any of this.
Jumping Bomb Angels were at Survivor Series a month prior.
Leilani Kai, I'm trying to think who else.
I mean, they had Sherry. They had
the Federettes. Don't forget the Federettes.
Oh, the Rosati sisters.
There you go.
Who's the Oinkettes?
The Oinkettes. Yes, correct. The Oinkettes.
Yeah.
Not a whole hell of a lot.
Rockin' Robin, Jake Roberts' sister, didn't she?
She was about to show up.
Okay, she wasn't here yet.
Yeah, no.
But the first nominee is Sensational Sherry, who I don't think she was managing anyone at this time. She was wrestling. Wasn't she like the women's champion at this point?
She was actually,
yeah.
Well, she was Peggy Sue for Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, was she Peggy Sue?
That's right.
I knew.
But she wasn't. It wasn't known that she was. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Was that later on where she was Peggy Sue?
That was around this time, I believe.
Okay.
At least WrestleMania 4 was coming up. I know she was.
Okay. So yeah. But Sherry's the first nominee. The next is Dolly Parton.
Good God.
Honestly, the first time I saw this, I wasn't sure if that was the real Dolly Parton.
Because it's a blonde with big boobs, and that's all they need.
Honestly, like as impersonators go, she did look like the real Dolly.
And did you happen to catch what Honky Tonk Man said? He made some joke about her tits, which I'm sure.
I forget. What did he say?
I didn't write it down. I just said he made a joke about her tits being a group. Oh, that must be best group. But I'm sure that's really
best group.
22. Yeah. Oh, it was a different time, kids. We could.
So the Dolly Parton impersonator was sitting next to Hillbilly Jim. I feel like this is the type of show that Dolly would have done back in the day, just for fun.
Probably around this time.
As a fellow East Tennessean, I'm pretty sure she likes wrestling.
Yeah, like she totally would have done it.
Hopper put in a good word with Captain Lou Albano, getting her some.
Well, I mean, she did the music video with Hogan a few years back for like one of her like sketch TV shows or something.
I think it was Saturday Night Live, maybe.
Yeah, but I guess for whatever reason she wasn't available at this time. I don't know. Like they could have gotten Dolly for this one.
Yeah, but then they keep going because there's even more ridiculous.
Oh yeah. No, the next nominee is the Fabulous Moolah, who probably threatened the real Dolly, so that's probably why she didn't show up. Fabulous Moolah probably tried to prostitute her out to some people, and she's like, no thanks.
Thanks, honey.
And Mae Young was somewhere around there. Allegedly. Yeah, I believe it.
Allegedly.
So, Honky Tonk Man is roasting everybody at this point, and it's great.
Him and Jimmy Hart still alive, proving that bad guys live forever.
Jimmy's great. Honky Tonk Man is still alive too, isn't he?
Yeah, him and Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart, up until recently, was hosting Hulk Hogan's karaoke thing.
Is he not doing it anymore?
I don't think he's doing it anymore.
Oh man.
But it's unbelievable, right?
Ryan, that's something you and me gotta do. We gotta go to
20 minutes from where I live. You can see Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart and do karaoke.
We gotta do it one day.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm never in St. Pete or Clearwater during the week.
And
I'm in Orlando.
I tried to go once with a buddy, and you're standing around waiting all night, and you never.
I'm sure it's packed every night.
Yeah.
With the tourists.
I don't have the patience for that anymore.
I gotcha. So, but yeah, Honky's just roasting everybody, and it's amazing. The next nominee is Yoko Ono.
This is how you know it wasn't the real Dolly Parton.
Yeah, and this impersonator looks nothing like the real Yoko Ono.
Hey, you're a brunette and you have glasses. You could pass for Yoko Ono.
She's not even Asian. Like
they didn't even try.
This is a white woman in glasses.
We don't even know that it's a woman. It could be Barry Horowitz for all we know.
I mean, hey, he's got range. Why not?
You're a jobber.
Could be Steve Lombardi.
There you go.
That guy did all the jobs.
If you want a job here, you got to be Yoko Ono tonight.
But yeah, totally random. And then finally, Miss Elizabeth is the last nominee.
Which is like, come on, why are we even having this?
Yeah, of course it would be Miss Elizabeth. So Randy, of course, is sitting there next to her in his formal wear. It looks like he's wearing a bib, like a tuxedo bib.
Not a bad idea. I would like to have a bib on when I'm wearing formal wear.
Sure. I guess.
Gotta protect myself at every meal in case I start dropping.
It saves
food,
the flavor saver.
Yeah, well, you can't mess up. You can't get like some ranch dressing on the spandex. That's not good.
You could just squeeze all the cocaine out.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what's going on. So, and of course, Honky Tonk Man talks about how much Elizabeth is really in love with him, and Randy is not hearing any of it. So, yeah, obviously they're feuding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Elizabeth ends up being the winner. She walks on stage by herself at first, but once like Honky Tonk Man tries to do like his moves in front of her, like his signature, like, pointing behind the back, all that, which I guess is his dance of seduction. I can only assume
it's mating.
He's taunting her. He's not letting her go to the podium. So Randy, of course, runs on stage to chase him off, allowing Liz to go to the podium and give her acceptance speech. And of course, she thanks Macho Man. And
I love her acceptance speech, by the way.
Yeah.
I like when a woman says, "I'd like to thank the man that made me the woman that I am today." I love that acknowledgement.
Yep. Couldn't do that on TV today.
That would fly really well in today's culture. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would have no problems with it on Twitter at all.
No, not a single complaint.
No, it would be universally accepted.
They were such a great couple, though. We have to acknowledge.
They're amazing. Yeah, legendary.
Just the sight of the two of them. They are what hooked me into wrestling. Easily.
Yep, I believe it.
Macho Man and Elizabeth with this feud against Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, everybody loved Elizabeth back then. So next, Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out to present, of course, in his tux T-shirt and the bow-tied 2x4.
Which later on in life, he inspired me to own a similar tuxedo shirt. So thank you, Hacksaw, for your...
The bow tie on the 2x4 was kind of adorable.
and I kind of have a cross eye now, so I'm...
Well, there you go.
Slowly becoming Hacksaw. And I like to say hi.
Well,
Tough guy.
There are worse ways to end up, I guess. There are worse people to emulate, but
I love the sight of Demolition in their tuxedos. Demolition in general.
Yes, so Hacksaw is out there, of course, presenting the award for best ring apparel because he's such a fashion plate.
He truly is.
Yeah, the first nominee is what Hacksaw says, the Demolition.
Love it. They should be called Demolition.
Yeah, so it's Axe and Smash, who in my opinion, should always win any Best Dressed award.
They should have won Best fucking Song ever. They have the single best theme song.
Yes. Yeah, Rick Derringer.
It's my favorite.
Damn right.
It's
always hilarious seeing them in their version of formal wear. It's like it's like S&M meets Kiss meets Mad Max and the Road Warriors. Not those Road Warriors, but
a lot of S&M that I did not pick up on because I wasn't.
Yeah, they look like a couple like leather daddies in their dress blues, but
But it works.
It's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And
so the second nominee is Macho Man, who's another great choice for Best Dressed. and I was writing this down. Randy was one of those guys who, like, as great as he was in the ring and on the mic, he was so animated that even his body language was so unique and unmistakable. Every little mannerism he did, like, you knew immediately who that was.
Totally.
Yeah,
he was one of a kind.
It's such unique, like, ring everything. The sunglasses were like, we got them from the dentist.
Oh yeah,
they're so strange.
They look like ski goggles.
Somehow it works. Yeah, like somehow it works.
Yeah, and this was before his cowboy hat phase.
You're right.
It's just the whole presentation, man.
Yeah.
Even his name, Macho Man Randy Savage. 4 words that they fit together so nicely.
I mean, somehow he took the title of a Village People song and made it cool.
I know, right. That ain't easy.
Yeah.
No, not easy at all. But the third nominee is the Honky Tonk Man. Fourth is King Harley Race, with whom, of course, he and Duggan are feuding by this time. Just for a second, imagine your Harley Race, one of, like, the most, like, legit tough badasses in the business. Yeah. Legendary, like, he's been doing this for a while. You finally get your big break to make some great money, and they stick you with, like, a silly king gimmick.
Back then, it was very absurd to be a king. It was like the coronation.
You think at any point he was like, Lawler's already got this. Like, that's already Lawler's thing. I mean, Lawler's not working there by this time. But,
right, no. Haku was who he ended up feuding with.
Right, for the crown, I guess.
Yeah, and then Duggan.
I think at this point, Harley was just happy to have a nice paycheck.
Oh, I'm sure he got paid, like, better than he ever did with anybody.
I love the way he goes through tables. His table bump.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
Oh yeah. So of course, the winner ends up being Harley Race, much to Duggan's chagrin. He's disappointed about that. So Duggan's pissed about that because they're in a feud. Harley Race is in full ring gear and trunks, and Bobby Heenan accompanies him to the stage wearing, like, a neck brace for some reason with a bow tie. He's selling, like, a neck injury. I don't know. Brian, where does that come from?
I'm trying to think of who might have given him, like, the full perhaps Billy Jack Haynes gave him.
I mean, maybe. Like, he was always taking bumps in the ring and getting his ass kicked.
It was either Ken Patera or Billy Jack Haynes that gave him a full Nelson.
Patera.
Because he used to manage Ken Patera.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Patera went away.
Turned on him?
He turned on Ken. Ken Patera went away for a while after throwing a boulder through a McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, that's a shoot.
I'm sure Cory knows that story.
He went to the clink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, I don't know why, in 1987, the first issue of WWF Magazine I had was one with Ken Patera on the cover, and I still have it. Or actually, I bought it again. Because
he was an AWA guy, wasn't he, Cory?
He was.
Yeah, Vern Gagne.
Yeah. He was trained by Vern, yeah.
Okay.
There was something about seeing the sight of him, the Ken Patera on the newsstand, that I was like, oh, like, you can get this at the newsstand, the WWF magazine. And I, from that point on, I always sought out the WWF magazine. But Ken Patera is it's the only Ken Patera significance to wrestling to me.
Yeah, the magazine was huge back in the day.
He was on the cover. Yeah.
So, of course, Heenan and Race, they walk up, and Heenan, of course, is naturally just roasting everybody at the podium. Classic Bobby.
This gets so good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Really.
So Heenan starts to taunt Duggan, who and tries to force Duggan to bend the knee to King Harley Race, but Duggan refuses. And then one of the craziest brawls you have ever seen.
This is the first core match in WWF history.
It begins as they start fighting into the backstage area. So then Gorilla Monsoon is out next. He's introduced next, but he rushes backstage because he wants to watch the fight and give commentary.
I've never seen him run so fast.
Yeah. Gorilla was hightailing out of there. He was sprinting to the back. And so we cut. The camera cuts to the hair and makeup area where Race and Heenan are brawling with Duggan. And it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like Duggan smashes Harley Race in the face with a pie that was there for some reason.
Because he had red on his face that looked like blood, Harley Race, but I don't think it was. I think it was makeup.
Yeah, so but like his face was covered, so I assumed he like smashed him in the face with a pie or something.
Gorilla Monsoon.
It could have been like makeup cream or something.
Gorilla Monsoon.
It could have been a bowl of cocaine. Who knows?
Oh, right.
I mean, I wasn't trying to go there immediately, but I mean, yes, that's highly possible.
Gorilla Monsoon literally says some kind of powder chemical right in the face, and it's like powder chemical.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a bowl of nose candy, for all we know. So. All right. Well, anyways, so Race is covered in booger sugar, and then they continue to brawl backstage, where for some reason there is a donkey and some chickens backstage.
That I love. I've died.
I mean, where that came from? I guess maybe Hillbilly Jim brought that back, is if we're supposed to believe.
Gorilla Monsoon even says chickens.
Yeah, not even Gorilla knows why these farm animals are there, but he just goes with it.
Chickens, donkeys at the Slammies. I don't understand.
Actually, invited guests of Frankie.
I mean, it could have been. They could have been Frankie's entourage.
So I think the real reason there was a donkey backstage is so they could make another ass joke.
Oh, yeah.
Heenan makes an ass of himself.
Oh, yeah. Classic Gorilla line. Duggan throws Bobby Heenan next to a donkey, allowing Gorilla to say, "Oh, I knew sooner or later he'd make an ass out of himself."
That's 2 ass jokes in one night. I'm sorry.
You know he had been sitting on that one all night, waiting to bust that chestnut out.
I'm 7 years old, and I'm hearing all these ass jokes. It's there.
I mean, it's the most, like, cursing they had up to that point on WWE.
It's also another line that made me laugh out loud when he throws the brain into the garbage, and he goes, "Oh, the brain in the dumpster, right where he belongs."
Oh yeah,
it made me laugh just seeing.
Yeah, Gorilla never passed up an opportunity to just
the
crap
fact
on Bobby whenever he could.
Yeah, we got impromptu Gorilla Monsoon on commentary for about Heenan. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So classic.
It is really good.
Harley Race grabs a chicken by the neck and hits Duggan with it. He has killed this chicken on live TV in the process.
And nobody cares.
That chicken is dead.
Because it's the 80s and social media is not a thing.
He has killed an animal on live TV. This brawl continues into, like, the utility area, like almost like the boiler room. Harley even dives through a table trying to splash Duggan.
That
who
fucking
moves out of it out of the way.
That's a sick spot a sick bump that he took. Unlike the bump Hacksaw.
He doesn't really, like, splash it. He just kind of falls forward.
I know. I think it's so convincing when he does it. And he actually hurt himself doing that.
I'm sure
bump.
he did.
Not on this occasion, but he did that same bump with Hogan, and he did get legitimately hurt for a while.
Yeah, like, he didn't jump. He just kind of fell over forward.
Well, he's often been credited at inventing the flying headbutt that he wishes he did not invent, because of who went on to that move, Bobby.
Oh, yeah. We know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we know.
So we then cut to Jesse Ventura reluctantly introducing the next musical performance.
Oh, I'm not ready.
Vince McMahon singing Stand Back. Now,
here we go.
We've all heard about...
I had first knew that this existed in 2006 when, like, DX played that on Raw to make fun of Vince and Shane.
Wasn't it Jericho that did for the first time?
I mean,
slam back.
Maybe, yeah, it was. I first remember DX doing it.
It was
Triple H and Shawn.
It was Jericho. It was Jericho and Benoit against the 2-man power trip.
And he's
was it?
Yeah, 2001. And
that's amazing.
I'm pretty sure you saw that, but I don't know.
I mean, it's probably erased from existence now because.
I mean, we all forgot, man. Like, yeah.
This
type of shit you don't want to remember.
But I mean, yeah, you should see some of the stuff that I wrote down for notes for this.
I have a lot. Yeah.
I honestly can't believe that this actually happened. I feel like this is the most fever dream of this whole fever dream part that I can. I can't believe that this is actually something they greenlit to put on TV. Like, this is...
Or the fact that all the wrestlers agreed to be in this fucking band of his.
This was...
Yeah, this is Vince McMahon's...
You can really tell that this was a real passion project to Vince.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan getting to slap the bass man one more time.
Yeah, like... I don't know who wrote this song. I feel like Vince probably wrote some of the lyrics.
I feel like the same person wrote this song that wrote No Holds Barred, the movie.
Maybe Jim Johnston. Maybe this is a Jim Johnston
Vince McMahon and somebody that wants no credit for this that will never be named. Mm-hmm. He knows better.
I just, again, this is Vince McMahon's ego just run amok. Like, I can't believe this actually aired on television. I mean, one thing's for sure. I don't think this was something that was pitched to Vince. This had to be his idea.
When I was just a boy. It's just his life story.
He must have come up with it.
Oh, he did.
Think about it. This is the guy who has the best talent in the business at the time working for him, yet somehow he thought that what people wanted to see was him sing and dance on TV. Well, think about that.
Prancing around like a ventriloquist doll.
December 1987 is the earliest warning sign from Vince McMahon of what an immeasurable douche that he was. We had no.
and Jesse at least tried to warn us when this was happening.
I wrote he's got comes running out veins full of IcoPro and the purest of white Colombian.
Oh yeah.
With his hair slicked back, just to radiate the fact that he is indeed a piece of shit.
He looks like Tony Montana on steroids.
He was in
wild.
his 40s, which I'm in my 40s now, and to think of going up on stage and doing this in front of a room full of people that work for me is absurd.
I mean, he was dancing, but his hips don't actually work. Like, it's pretty wild. So the band on here on stage, let's talk about the band for a second.
Oh, definitely. All Hall of Famers.
Of course, it's led by Hulk Hogan on bass in his sleeveless tuxedo.
Slapping the bass, man.
Now, of course, Hogan was the only one here who could actually play his instrument.
Yeah, I played for Metallica, brother.
Right.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, no, Hogan was a legitimate bass player. Like, he did that before he got into wrestling.
You just can't hear my bass on Injustice for All, but it's there, brother.
It's there, dude.
I promise you.
We see Junkyard Dog and the Killer Bees on sax.
Of course.
On 3 saxophones. George the Animal Steel on tambourine. Out of time, of course.
That's about all you can handle.
Which is perfect.
Can't handle it.
Then we have Randy Savage, Brutus Beefcake, and Jake Roberts on trumpets.
That's a great lineup of trumpet players. I would have that in my ska band. If possible.
Hell of a horn section, let me tell you. Like, no other instruments, though. Like, no drums, no guitar. It was just Hogan on bass and a horn section.
Chuck Mangione would be very proud.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Feels so good with Beefcake.
He'd be spinning it. He's spinning in his grave, and he's not even dead, I don't think.
He's getting ready to.
No.
Wow.
Once he finds out who.
Nobody show him this. He might keel over.
We just referenced him to this.
Somebody protect Chuck Mangione at all costs.
Vince McMahon is surrounded by 4 women who are much like Pac-Man ghosts. There's a red one, a blue one, a yellow one, and a pink one.
Yeah.
They don't have names or personalities. They're just his fucking backup singers.
No, these future sexual harassment NDA suits.
Yeah, they drop to the floor every few seconds. So, Vince McMahon. Oh, right, done some bullshit here. I promise you'll lose. Oh, God, he's shaking his buttocks and pelvis to and fro.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but whenever he says, got a lot of big plans, he looks at one of the chicks' rear ends.
Oh,
of course. Of
course he does. It's just asking for it.
Yeah, these future, sexual harassment lawsuits. This is the Diva Search before it was a thing.
Yeah, there's 4 Rita Chatterton.
This is Exhibit C.
Stand back.
Well, if any of them got out of line, he just sicked Jimmy Snuka on him. So, too soon?
Sick him. Jimmy Snuka was not around in '87, so
no.
He was in a witness protection program.
Probably. I said the dancers, the dancing girls here, they look like they're like cocktail waitresses at a bar that only serves hairspray and cocaine.
Well, it is Atlantic City, so it makes sense.
Strippers.
Yeah, he found
Strippers.
Only hairspray and cocaine is what they serve at this bar.
Aquanet.
Those are strippers, and I can't be convinced otherwise.
I mean, God bless them. They're trying their best to work with it. Like, they're good dancers. They're doing their thing, but it's like
God bless them. You're the only one to say that.
I mean, they're trying to make this work.
Vince is in there trying to show him the dance moves. Like, God damn it, you gotta fucking do the move like this. Shake, you gotta shake it.
McMahon says, "I promise you'll lose," but he finally lost.
I mean, we've all lost seeing this.
He lost his
the world lost something.
He lost his goddamn mind in his 40s to do this.
Yeah, I mean, if he ever had it to begin with. I mean, I will say this right now: if there are any of these ladies who are still with us, who are listening by any chance, who were dancers in this thing, please contact me, because I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And get some stories about what this was like.
First of all, it's going to be okay. You're amongst friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to prove that this actually happened. Like I said, I'm not sure who wrote the lyrics, but they're definitely meant to be autobiographical. So he's warning the other naysayers not to mess with him since he's got a lot of big plans.
Yeah, it takes a difference. It's even more weirdly ironic now after what's happened that he's warning people to stand back. And I hate to even say it, but there was a part where, let me see, I have it in my notes here. I just saw it. He points up to the ceiling and he says something about baby, watch him drop. And I was like, oh, I didn't even want to go.
Oh boy.
and he starts growling when
But this is 12 years before the Over the Edge pay-per-view. And him.
This is basically, this is like a hip hop diss track to Jim Crockett.
Yeah, it's all full of veiled threats to Jim Crockett, Ted Turner, Vern Gagne, Sam Mushnick, Paul Bosch, Bill Watts, the whole Don Owen, everybody. And
a diss track to himself at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, half of that song features that McMahonian growl we've all come to know, slipping out here and there.
What do you think as a bass player of Hulk Hogan's tasty little bass solo there?
It's not bad. It's not look, he's not Billy Sheehan, but it's
my favorite. Vince McMahon lets out a hearty yeah. He's.
Look, he's not Les Claypool, but it was a tasteful little bass solo there, and it was pretty good.
Luckily, he's not.
If that's even Hogan playing on the track, which we don't even know.
I'm gonna say it has to.
I don't.
Right? Why can you not?
I don't think it is.
Yeah, that might not even be him playing on the record, so we don't even know.
They at least gave him that little solo, which I think you could fake that for however long he had to.
No, Terry is going for it at this point, but what else was I saying? Yeah, obviously Vince is no singer or dancer, but you could tell he's really trying with it, learning the choreography and everything. I don't know who came up with the moves, but they were trying to figure out something for him to do. There was the little Jackson 5 point there with the head bob.
He's trying to warn you that he'll never be just an ordinary guy. No. That's for damn sure.
No.
When you're
I don't think anyone
that much is readily evident.
When you're wearing a tiny little fucking vest like that you're not to be considered an ordinary guy.
I don't think anyone has ever accused him of being an ordinary guy. I think that's safe to say.
He would hate that, honestly. It would drive him.
Oh, no. You're like, what?
I'm a what?
You take a leak. Well, all right. So, but yeah, I think the on the way you're gonna see a lot of men drop. I think that part is the funniest.
Don't tell Iron Sheik that B. Brian Blair is playing trumpet right now. Where was Iron Sheik? He was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, Sheik wasn't part of this either.
That's right,
shame.
I said stand back was a national nightmare, especially when he starts saying "baby, watch him drop."
baby.
Sheik and Duggan, ironically, had got caught on the Jersey Highway
that was
earlier this year.
Yeah, that was 87. Right. Yeah, that was 87, wasn't it?
Yeah, they probably got busted on the New Jersey Turnpike.
So that powder that
Duggan came back and Sheik didn't.
That powder he threw in Harley Race's face was the Iron Sheik's cocaine stab. And Iron Sheik.
No wonder. No wonder he's
Sheiky Baby just wants these people to pay him back for all the drugs that they use, and they're never going to.
And he's pissed at, but fuck the B. Brian Blair for some reason. I don't know why he's pissed at Brian Blair.
Well, because Brian Blair's playing trumpet for this fucking shit.
The fucking Jim Brunzell. So
they go back to the backstage fight, And now
no, we're not done with Stand Back yet. I've got a few more things to say about that.
I just saw that there was a goddamn llama backstage.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to that in a second. But like Vince's facial expressions are priceless. I feel like whenever I see him speak or like hear him talk, it's like that scene from Men in Black where you have like the alien who's wearing a human skin suit, where like he's trying to act in a way that he thinks humans talk.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
That's like the vibe I always get from Vince. Like he's either a robot or alien in disguise, like trying to.
He doesn't watch
talk
popular
like a human
TV
being.
shows. He doesn't listen to popular music. He doesn't watch sports. He has no clue what like regular human beings do, and it's obvious.
So we finally get to like the big finish, where he's gyrating like Tom Jones on ecstasy. A lot of hips and arms and shoulders.
You can tell this is very Tom Jones inspired performance.
Sort of like an octopus movie. He's going like he is going for it. I mean,
Goodness.
I mean, his dancing style is the same way as his acting, where it's like he's not like technically good at what he does, but he just commits so hard to it that you kind of have to respect it.
Kinda. But not fully.
Kinda.
No.
I don't really respect anything that Vince McMahon has ever done, and I can say that now.
Wow. So, of course, then he calls the band Hulk Hogan and the Hulkamaniacs, and I just
not the wrestling boot band, mercifully.
Not the wrestling boot band. This is before that. It's like the difference between the Revolution and the New Power Generation.
Hulk Hogan, the Hulkamaniacs.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, just wow.
I mean, he dropped to his knees and everything. Like, he's really trying.
Like, he was trying to steal the show and make it about him. Like, it was something else. So, any other final thoughts on Stand Back? I feel like we could have a whole podcast on Stand Back in and of itself.
Like, it's very, right. Like, the song, we knew the song was bad.
Oh my God.
The performance of it is just like, you really thought this was a good idea, huh? Like, all right.
It's like both the worst and greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's so cringe. The kids love to say cringe. Cringe was born on this day.
I mean,
on this day.
This is Vince McMahon's finest moment.
I guess. It never got any better than this. This has to be XFL, WWF, Bret Hart punching him.
This is the definition of sports entertainment, is this show.
I guess.
So,
yeah.
Anything else to say about Stand Back before we move on to the next thing?
Oh, let's see here.
Should have been.
So I don't want to leave anything on the table here.
Should have been an all-time number one, like 30 weeks.
Yeah.
How the Grammys snubbed this, I will never know.
Right? Yeah, I guess that about covers it.
So backstage, Harley Race and Jim Duggan continue brawling. We're assuming they've been going for the entirety of Stand Back.
The match that will not end.
Yeah. They're going as Gorilla and Bobby continue to watch from the other side of the fence. Now, for some reason, a goddamn llama is brought into the frame.
Not just a llama, a goddamn llama.
Why?
Now
why is any of this happening?
Chickens, donkeys, llamas. Oh my! Are you?
I'm like, was there a petting zoo nearby on the boardwalk? Or I mean, I'm sure a lot of this was shot in Stamford. Let's be honest.
It's a celebration of Vince McMahon.
Just to include animals, it makes it very unnerving and disturbing. It's like, where are you guys going with this?
I mean, I'm sure George Steele tried to fuck it. Anyway.
It's not bestiality if you are an animal.
I guess. Yeah, I guess it's on the up and up then.
It's illegal. Ask Jerry McDevitt.
Come on, George. You got to live the gimmick, pal. Anyway.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
You're fucking sick, Vince.
You got to act like an animal, damn it.
That's why Batista was called the animal.
Yep, that's right.
How big is Batista's dick? There, we got it on the button.
Ask Melina.
I'm good.
So after the commercial, we cut to commercial break, and after the commercial break, the fight is still going on in the utility room.
Is this the cardboard box spot?
Yeah. As Harley escapes, Bobby then locks Duggan inside the fenced area in the utility room. Duggan then climbs over the fence and knocks over a huge stack of what are clearly empty cardboard boxes onto both Race and Heenan.
The empty cardboard box spot, pal. That'll
sell the boxes.
Yeah, they're clearly empty, like every single one of them.
Yeah, they sell it like they're Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark being crushed by the boulder.
Why did it have to be boxes?
Exactly. Why indeed? So Hacksaw capitalizes this, and he chases Harley into the dressing room. So, which of course, good thing there was another camera ready there, just ready to go.
You know, there's going to be women running out of a dressing room.
And of course, they make their way into the women's dressing room.
Of course.
As we see three of the dancers in nothing but like afro wigs and in their like bras and panties running away screaming into the hallway, not even trying to cover themselves. Like it's straight up Benny Hill at this point.
That's what Vince's favorite thing.
It's entertainment.
I was waiting to hear yakety sax come on in the background.
So this was an early version of the XFL and the
I was waiting to hear that. So, and of course, there's an old lady back there, like the wardrobe lady, with a yardstick, just smacking the crap out of Bobby Heenan, telling him to get out. Excellent.
That old lady deserves the Warrior Award this year.
She did.
Yes.
As a humanitarian.
Yeah, for all of her efforts.
She was trying to get Vince and Johnny Ace out of there later that night. She tried her best.
Never too soon for a Johnny Ace reference.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mean Gene introduces Hulk Hogan to the stage to present the Hulk Hogan Real American Award.
And this was necessary.
Of course.
Yes.
Totally.
But I mean, of course, naturally, Hulk gets a huge pop from the people that are there in the audience.
Got to keep his name and brand out there.
Oh, of course. So Hogan's wearing like the sleeveless spandex tuxedo and tails with black gloves, a red weightlifting belt, black spandex pants, and cowboy boots.
Interesting.
Brother, I dressed myself, brother.
Of course, Terry. So the funny thing is, like, I'm sure he would have worn this to the Oscars or any other event at the time because he's Hulk Hogan. He probably wore that to the grocery store.
Right. He wore it to the Countryside Mall the first time I saw him.
Exactly. Wore it to Celebration Station, probably.
Yes. Taking Nitro Nick out for some.
Well, this is before Nitro Nick was born. So
the good old days, as I like to.
Oh man, come on.
Hey, do you guys know who won the Hulk Hogan Real American Award in 2006? It was actually Bubba the Love Sponge.
Wow.
Oh, did he now?
That's a deep dive that I did not.
I thought Heather Clem won the award, but it's.
She just wasn't celebrated for her performance.
She had the most to do that night. Anyway.
She was the unsung hero who should have won.
Oh, she was singing all right. Making noise, I'm sure.
Swallowing the hero.
This is going to get me kicked off of YouTube, I swear.
Oh, fuck the Hogans.
This is going to get me kicked off Spotify. I just got this podcast on all the major platforms.
Had a good run, Hootie.
I know, I tried. Anyways. So, yeah, I'm sure he probably wore this walking down the street because he's Hogan. But, classic Hogan promo about riding his Harley down the Atlantic City boardwalk. But then he says how turned on he is seeing all the Hulkamaniacs here in the crowd. All right.
Very
easy does it.
Brother,
take it easy, brother.
I was riding my Harley down the boardwalk just running over Hulkamaniacs left and right, dude.
It's like, Terry, I'm pretty sure that's vehicular homicide.
Oof, brother.
Might want to lay low because you're probably wanted for murder.
Oof.
Yeah.
And then the NWO tried to kill him, and the Undertaker dragged him behind with a motorcycle that time.
I mean, in his defense, it was the Dungeon of Doom controlling the bike, but
What was up with Billy Graham? He broke the cane over his leg.
Yeah, no, we're getting to that in a second. So Hogan then talks up he talks up the award recipient, which turns out to be the recently retired superstar Billy Graham.
Fucking weird.
Now, I guess Billy Graham was walking with a cane by this point. I guess.
Yeah.
Did he retire because of injuries or just,
Yeah, he was fucking decrepit, dude. He's still suffering.
He was decrepit because of fucking steroid use.
Yeah, he's
35 years ago. He was on the news complaining about steroids destroyed his body, his heart,
Yeah, he was the pioneer of steroid use.
How is he?
Is he still alive?
Yes, he's still alive. Like,
my God,
he's still kicking.
I think he's meant to suffer from all the shit that he's spoken over the years about.
That's dark.
Vince McMahon. And
this is more like one of those televangelist things where like the preacher puts hands on somebody who's crippled.
That's a different Billy Graham.
And even weirder is his name is Billy Graham. Yeah, like
brother,
not that Billy Graham.
The power of Hulkamania. Power of Hulkamania made me walk again, dude.
Yeah, there was definitely a very weird Benny Hinn type. I'm gonna make you walk, brother. Break it up with my leg. So I felt like a hate crime against an elderly old man, though. It was like, what are you doing?
Right. It was weird, but like, yeah, so Superstar is walking with a cane by this point. I guess he's just too injured at this point. He looks a little older by this point.
In 1987, though, they look like mirror images of each other. Hogan, Billy Graham.
Well, from what I had heard, Billy Graham supposedly like hated Hulk Hogan because he felt Hogan was just a cheap imitation that ripped off his act.
1,000%.
Because he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he got all the credit and all the, for WrestleMania, and it was all Hulk Hogan. But Billy Graham.
Yeah, like he was bitter because Hogan was a lot more successul.
Billy Graham got back to manage The Rock Don Morocco, not Rocky Maivia.
Right. So, Hogan has said that he's claimed that he was a fan of Billy Graham's and cited him as an inspiration. So
it's pretty fucking obvious. Like,
you could look at it either way, honestly.
It's a tribute act.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. But
I like the fact that Superstar Billy Graham came out to the Jesus Christ Superstar music, which I did not know was
interesting.
What it was from. But
interesting choice. They couldn't get Dolly Parton, but they paid the rights to Jesus Christ Superstar.
or Yoko Ono. Don't forget. Didn't even try on that one.
Should have paid Yoko to stay home. Anyway. Honestly, hearing Yoko sing might have been better than Stand Back. Let's be honest.
I'd like to point out both Hulk Hogan and Superstar Billy Graham are still alive.
Yeah.
And good God, man. I don't understand. This is a 69-minute video, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This Slammy Awards. Because I think we're 36 minutes into it at this point in my notes.
Oh, for sure.
Because I was losing my mind.
All right, but Superstar, he graciously accepted the award, and he was, saying a bunch of nice things about Hogan in his speech. But as they walked off, as we mentioned earlier, Hulk takes Superstar's cane and breaks it over his knee. I guess apparently, he was trying to say, oh, you don't need this. Come on, Superstar. And, it was so weird. I guess he was trying to,
Yeah, you see what they're trying to do.
Brother, the power of Hulkamania compels you, dude.
But they made it look like he was trying to psych up Billy Graham, but it makes Hogan look like a dick.
Billy Graham hasn't had a match since then. Hogan has.
But then they pose together, and it's a big moment, so it's kind of cool.
Just filler and a already filler award show.
Yeah. So meanwhile, after this segment, then the brawl in Duggan and Race is still going on.
God damn it.
At this point, they've brawled all the way to the top floor into catering, where I guess a Christmas party was supposed to take place. Not for the wrestlers, but just the staff of the theater.
Well, now we're just wasting food and time and money.
Yes. So there are several trays of desserts and snacks, so you already see where this is going. Harley Race dumps a big salad bowl on Duggan, and I guess at some point they shoved some cakes and pies into the faces of the chefs who were just there, just for some reason.
Probably actually working. Didn't get paid.
These poor guys are just there, and they were like, okay, bam, pie in your face. What? These dudes were just standing there. They didn't run out of the way.
Yeah. Tell your kids you're going to be on television later.
Right? Duggan atomic drops Bobby Heenan into the carrot cake, and then, of course, smashes Harley Race in the face with a pie. Cut to commercial. So, of course, you knew that was coming. And then after the commercial break, Jesse introduces the Jesse the Body Award.
Wow.
So naturally, he puts that over as being the most important.
Another
classic Jesse.
Another prestigious award, right after the Hulk Hogan award.
The first nominee is Ravishing Rick Rude, and naturally in his best Chippendales cosplay with no shirt and a bow tie. The second nominee is the natural Butch Reed.
At this point, somebody yells, "Get a haircut!" to the natural Butch Reed.
Oh, is that what they yelled?
Somebody heckled. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I guess. Yeah. So Butch Reed is basically just in his trunks and ring gear, but with a bow tie added.
He's the natural. He's going.
Third nominee was Ultimate Warrior, also shirtless, but wearing white suspenders and a bow tie. Very nice.
In his rookie year.
Yeah. And fourth was Sensational Sherry, who was the women's champion at the time.
The only woman to nominate for this category.
Right. Yeah, she's in there amongst this sausage fest.
She did have quite odd Sensational Sherry.
And then finally Hercules, who's dressed up more like Julius Caesar.
Again, still dressed like an asshole.
All right. So the winner ends up being Rick Rude.
So here is where I ask, who the hell was this show directed towards?
This is a kid's show.
I'm 7 years old, and a lot of traumatic events came flooding back to me.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is a kid's show. Rude is strutting his way to the stage with just a shit-eating grin on his face
and a Key West butt tickler mustache.
Oh yeah, I mean, like were chicks really into him back in the day? Like
they really were, man. They really. My mom, I can verify. Women loved Rick Rude, man. He was.
I mean, the guy had a great body, but he's like the male version of a Butterface. Like I guess. Like, I mean, look, back in the day,
I'm in no position to make that kind of fucking accusation.
Back in the day, like the Tom Selleck look, I like Tom Selleck was the hottest thing going. So they're trying to copy the Magnum PI look. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was hot back then.
So he had a Turd Ferguson thing going. Rick Rude.
Absolutely. Yeah. Burt Reynolds, like the ladies loved Burt Reynolds. But of course he's got the feathered hair and all that. So.
He plucked women out of the audience and made out with them, and they never complained. They never hit him with a sexual assault lawsuit.
Yeah, no Me Too's for Rick Rude.
Well, luckily he died in '99. He missed out on all that.
He dodged a bullet. So yeah, like
I would like to know whose decision it was. Who thought it'd be a good idea to do a striptease in the middle of an award show that's directed to children that are no older than 13.
Yes, like he tears the pants off, and I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. So just as he's about to remove like the black underwear, Mean Gene rushes in and covers him up with a towel.
Which I very much so remember, that image of Rick Rude and Mean Gene with the towel.
I mean, I'm sure Brian's mom was hot and bothered when this was going on.
I'm sure she was.
I'm sure she was getting the vapors. And
goodness me.
And as like Gene is covering him up with a towel, Rude, like it looks like he's apparently like still taking his underwear off, stripping naked behind a towel. Not very PG for a kid's show.
You're forgetting that he sexually assaults the woman that hands her the award. That's shaped. That's
entertainment, pal.
The award itself is shaped a lot like a dildo.
I just assumed that this was an early Christmas gift to Pat Patterson.
And
I had to be.
Yeah. Here you go, Pat. Enjoy.
Both of these men on stage, Jesse Ventura and Rick Rude, are from the great state of Minnesota.
Oh, yes.
Which Jesse
Minnesotans.
Robbinsdale, Minnesota for Rick Rude. Jesse Ventura.
I mean, this whole thing makes Prince look like the Marlboro Man by comparison.
Shirts.
In terms of least embarrassing things to come out of Minnesota.
Shirts versus blouses.
That's right. Game, blouses. Anyway, so as Rude gets to the podium, he thanks Jesse and all the women of the world, and then he gets with the presenter girl, starts hugging her and seduces her, and exits with her, implying that they're about to bone backstage because he throws the towel out.
Hush money sent her way.
Yeah, so he's nude apparently backstage with this random dance chick.
Nothing disturbing about any of that. Just wrestling nude.
This is a children's program. I'll remind you again.
Might have been the first naked dude I ever saw. I can't verify that. I don't know. No. Let's just run with that. First, and I like how they played the stripper as is the.
Yeah. So that's all going on.
You had Pomp and Circumstance. You had Jesus Christ Superstar. You had all kinds.
Yeah, they were dropping the needle quite a bit on this one. So then Gene and Jesse introduce a video montage of various matches and in-ring moments set to Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar.
I totally remember this, but hadn't seen it for years because I always would associate Hit Me With Your Best Shot with Bam Bam Bigelow doing that flip over the top rope. I always had that visual, and I was like, where did I see that? It was from the Slammy Awards.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, But they had actually shown this video elsewhere on WWF TV as like a year in review.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a time filler montage that they're doing. And I guess it's probably too expensive to rerun this on WWE Network or Peacock. Probably didn't want to pay Pat Benatar the rights to this. But they're actually dropping the needle in this one. So, again, clearly this is just a time filler, but actually has some wrestling involved. Imagine that.
Right, the only wrestling.
This is the only actual wrestling we see on this program.
Other than the hardcore match that's still ongoing between Hacksaw.
So once the video ends, we cut back to the ceremony as Gene and Jesse are getting ready to present the next award. Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes flying through the screen.
I loved the visual of that growing up.
As the brawl with Harley race continues. Keep in mind, we are now approximately 22 to 23 minutes, not including commercial breaks, into this brawl at this point.
For fuck's sake. It's like
these guys are... This is a war.
This is the world's first hardcore Iron Man match.
Like, most street fights are done in, less than a minute. Maybe two.
Break the shit up already. What kind of fuck... security?
There's no security in this place.
Good God.
At all.
How coked out are these guys that they can't?
Oh my God, they're feeling no pain. They can't feel any pain. They're all on PCP and disco biscuits. Anyway,
he must have stole the last of Duggan's stash, and now he's very, very upset over it because they won't let this shit go.
they want to end it before Sheik makes a run in. So yeah, but finally Duggan manages to grab his 2x4 and finally chases away both Race and Heenan, as Gorilla Monsoon finally stops Duggan and breaks it up. Again, over 20 minutes of this going on, we're led to believe.
You're real on top of shit.
Mercifully, it's over. It's finally over.
It's a pretty epic battle.
Howard Finkel had to make some kind of an announcement.
Yeah. The crowd boos as the fight is over, as the voice of Howard Fink, the disembodied voice of the Fink, apologized for the interruption in the program.
Disembodied.
Yes, Fink is omniscient at this point.
Poor Fink.
Finally, Gene and Jesse present the nominees for Greatest Hit, which is just random clips. The first is a clip of Andre the Giant eliminating Hulk Hogan from a battle royal. Not sure when this took place.
Yeah, why the hell is that? Who cares?
That was that battle royal was in January or February of '87, right before Mania 3, and that was the first time that we saw Andre get his hands on Hulk prior to Mania 3.
Oh well, good. Professor C-Dub coming through once again. I love it.
Hell yeah!
Thank you, sir. Then next we have is Hacksaw Jim Duggan knocking down Harley Race, and Jesse says, "I'm bored of that guy."
Bored. You get the bored joke?
Great.
Bored.
Solid pun work.
I'm bored of that guy.
The third is the Honky Tonk Man hitting Randy Savage in the head with a guitar while the Hart Foundation had him restrained. Pretty hardcore spot,
That's what started the Mega Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big moment.
Yeah. Pretty brutal guitar shot. Fifth is Bam Bam Bigelow splashing and beating Hercules. And the winner ended up being Hacksaw Jim Duggan, much to Ventura's chagrin.
I wrote down
Duggan,
Duggan's like the Taylor Swift of this award ceremony. Let somebody else win, for fuck's sake.
Right. Well, yeah, him and Honky Tonk Man were cleaning up that night.
Yeah. Bullshit.
So Duggan, who's still exhausted from this epic brawl, comes up to accept. They cut to commercial break. After the break, Gorilla Monsoon presents the nominees for Manager of the Year. The first nominee is Slick, who of course is dressed in the brightest gold velour tux with top hat and tails. and then proceeds to rush the stage and preemptively accept the award, Kanye West style.
Which was great. That he's like, I didn't tell you to come up here.
Yeah, he just totally Kanye'd it.
Sit down.
Before the other nominees are announced. The second nominee is Jimmy Hart, who does the same thing. The third is Mr. Fuji, who's in full Demolition makeup. So he gets on stage. And finally, Bobby Heenan is the fourth nominee, much to Gorilla's visual disgust. Like,
and this entire award show,
Gorilla's not even trying to hide his disgust at this point.
This is just perfect. That who the winner turned out to be.
I'm pretty sure at this point that Gorilla was just ready to go back and hit the slots.
Oh yeah, he wanted to get a high ball and hit the tables.
Make another bastard child.
Exactly. So of course, Bobby Heenan comes up to the stage too. All the managers are on stage arguing, and Gorilla happily reveals that the winner is none of the above.
Which I didn't realize you could do. Like you could have
Didn't know you could do that. Like, what's the point of any of this?
I brought you all on stage to say none of you won. Go fuck yourselves. Watching.
Like, why not give? I'm thinking, like, why not give the award to Elizabeth? Technically, she was Macho Man's manager.
Or there was one babyface manager named Oliver Humperdinck that managed Bam Bam Bigelow, and they all fought for his services. They should have given it to him.
There you go.
Humperdinck wasn't available that night.
Yeah, I obviously think Heenan should have won if there was going to be a winner, but if you're going to pull
either that or Elizabeth, like that would have been, the crowd would have loved it.
The whole concept of an award show and none of the above. All right, well then who gets it? Nobody. Fuck you.
It's like, what are we even doing here?
I know, like you're asking questions after Stand Back. You're still watching.
Yeah. So next, Coco Beware performs Pile Driver with. Got a few dancers and some of the other wrestlers. They're basically trying to recreate the music video, complete with the construction outfit and the sets.
I always loved this song. This song is great.
Yeah, it's a catchy tune. So the funniest part is Bam Bam Bigelow pretending to play the baritone sax.
I wrote Bam Bam plays a mean whatever the hell that is.
But it's like a baritone sax, even though technically it's a tenor sax.
It was coming out
on the record.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound.
So for all you music geeks out there, we noticed it.
Yeah.
I have to say that my favorite part is where they cut to Coco on a date with the chick and Frankie.
Yeah, like Frankie's out at the restaurant with him.
You guys think Frankie likes to watch?
Oh, definitely.
He didn't have a choice.
Is Frankie in the bedroom with them after the fact?
Oh, you know it.
Yeah. So, I was trying to recognize some of the wrestlers that were in there. There was Ultimate Warrior, obviously. Hillbilly Jim. The British Bulldogs. Didn't recognize anybody else. Is there anybody else in the segment that you guys saw?
Yeah, this roster was not that deep back then. No. Because you saw a lot of the same guys all night.
So, and like you said, for some reason they show this pre-recorded scene of Coco out on a date, like a romantic dinner.
Yeah, with, very weird, very strange.
This random lady who kind of looks like Vanessa Williams back in the day.
But they showed the one shot for too long.
They're like, we need a Vanessa Williams type. So,
boy, Vince McMahon really meant it when he said "stand back" because he was trying to warn us from this steaming turd sandwich that X-Pac might have fed to Mark Henry at some point.
Oh, good God! Wow,
that was in my notes.
That is disgusting. Anyway, I'm sure it happened.
Oh, it did.
I'll bet. Anyways,
the best.
Yeah. Frankie's there at the restaurant, and that scene has like the Saved by the Bell pink dream lighting effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're definitely.
It's like, is Coco thinking about this? Like, is that what we're?
I'm not sure if they captured whatever they were going for.
Is that a window into the mind's eye of Coco Beware that we're trying to see?
Thoroughly wasted our time if that's what their intent was.
Yeah. So after they go to commercial break after this, and Coco's not a bad singer, by the way.
No, it's actually a great song, man.
He's got a decent voice.
I liked it when I was a kid. I still like the song. It's a jam.
Yeah.
Coco gets a chorus on "If You Only Knew" as well.
He does. So after the break, Mean Gene then presents the award for Best Personal Hygiene.
Why not have this award?
Based on several vignettes. So the first nominee is Sika for his lack of table manners.
father of Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Samoan Sika.
That's right. The second is Hillbilly Jim, who apparently created his own line of men's cologne. This must have been a primetime wrestling sketch.
Must have been a precursor to Sex Panther.
Oh, I'll bet.
Works
I can
like
only imagine what that smells like. Third is George the Animal Steel for his tidiness around the ring. So the fourth is the Bolsheviks and Slick for brushing their teeth with the same oversized toothbrush.
What the fuck is going on? When did any of this ever? What was this?
I don't know, but I'm sure Tommy Dreamer was got a full boner watching that.
Oh yeah.
This could have been a rib on Nikolai because everybody always said how cheap he was.
Could have been.
Why is a pimp managing two Russians anyway?
I don't know.
Who made that connection? That was
bought and paid for by the KGB apparently.
And then can't forget King Kong Bundy.
Yes. The fifth is King Kong Bundy for his tone on the throne, which is basically him taking. Yeah, he is taking a massive shit.
Or he's taking a slammy, I guess we could say.
I wrote down this is basically the Dundies from The Office.
That's what this is. Right. You've seen two jokes involving asses. King Kong Bundy taking a shit. Like, all right, this was written by a 7-year-old for a 7-year-old, me.
That was probably a Vince note.
That's Vince McMahon.
He was probably loving that.
I'd like to point out this same December, I got my first cassette tape, which was Weird Al and the Monkees. It all happened in 1987 for me.
It was a big year for you.
My God, that's the year that shaped who I am. I'm 87.
So
solid
we can blame
for sure.
Yeah, they will be named in a lawsuit.
Oh boy. So yeah. The winners are the Bolsheviks and the Slickster. They're always calling him the Slickster.
The Slickster. Why? The
Hulkster and the Slickster.
I'm disappointed that Jive Soul Bro was not performed live by Slick, because that was one of the best songs.
No kidding.
I mean, we heard it as they came up, but both the Bolsheviks, they do this trip and face plant up the stairs onto the stage.
What was that? Yeah, it's like bad comedy. Is it supposed to happen? I can't.
Right. They just did a wacky face plant as they went up to the stage.
Vince McMahon was probably hysterically laughing at all of this.
They fell.
They fell.
It's hilarious.
Do it again. No.
And Bruce Pritchard's there. Yeah, it's great, Vince.
I'm producing.
I love you. Anyway.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. So Slick accepts on the behalf of all the Russian people. From Nicaragua to Afghanistan.
Slick mentioned Afghanistan and his acceptance.
It's all very, very timely stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And gives a shout out to Mikhail Gorbachev, who's recently passed away, by the way.
Did he really?
R.I.P. comrade.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago, I think Mikhail Gorbachev passed away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Very, very timely, but of course he gets massive heat for it. So they go to commercial break, and after the break, Jim introduces Jimmy Hart and the dancers as Jimmy sings Girls in Cars, which was the theme song for Strike Force.
Yeah, about that.
So originally, I looked up this song. Originally, It was recorded by a singer named Robbie Dupree.
Right. Couldn't get
it was a relatively big hit in 1980 or 81, and this is several years... Or no, he had a few hits, I should say.
He had a song called Steal Away.
Steal Away?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like Michael McDonald if you ordered him off a Wish.
Yeah, he's very much like one of the yacht rock
he's
guys,
on,
like Christopher Cross.
He's on all those Time Life Easy Rock collections that I downloaded for my mom years ago off of Pirate Bay.
Yeah, like he would have been on the soundtrack for Anchorman.
Or MacGruber.
Steal Away literally sounds like Michael McDonald wrote it.
Yeah.
He may have. We don't know.
Was that his only hit, Robbie Dupree? I
don't know.
He had another song called Hot Rod Hearts.
Okay.
It probably appeared on a soundtrack for some movie somewhere.
I'm willing at anything. But yeah, this was a very awkward performance. And how you pointed out that there was a pink Cadillac on stage. Why the fuck was there not a car in sight for
girls in cars?
Cars. Not a car to be found. Just girls dressed up like cars.
I mean, I guess Robbie Dupree either wasn't available or just had too much self-respect to be part of any of this.
I want to know what the budget was for this fucking nightmare.
So they had Jimmy Hart singing instead, even though he's supposed to be Strikeforce's enemy.
He's with who was he with?
He was with the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, the Harts.
And feuding with the Strikeforce at this time. Who Strikeforce had just titles.
And then the Harts had also, like, what was it? Jimmy Hart had written "Crank It Up" for
the young
on Driver.
Yeah, that's for.
Well, he had written it in kayfabe for the Hart Foundation, and the Young Stallions stole it.
I love storylines that were based around people stealing theme songs.
Oh yeah, it'd just be the stupidest reason for them to fight.
Real American on the first album was written for Wyndham and Rotundo, and Hulk Hogan stole it.
That's right.
I guess, yeah.
It's one of the best entrance songs ever. History.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone dressed as a school bus pulls.
Yeah, we're getting to her in a second, but this was obviously a pre-recorded performance, but. Because Jimmy is now in like a pink and black tux, like it wasn't what he was wearing to the actual award show.
Yeah.
Although he may have been singing this live, like on the soundstage.
I think he was.
Yeah, it sounds like he was doing it live.
I'm gonna ask him the next time I see him at Hogan's Beach Bar.
Oh yeah.
All about it.
So I mean, I'm sure he remembers. So yeah.
So baby, it was great, baby.
Oh my God, yeah, no, it was fantastic.
The Minnesota Mizarks.
Oh my God!
Oh, go be great! Oh my God!
It was great. Come on, Terry, you got to do
it. Is that Jim Cornette or Jimmy Hart? It's hard to tell.
It's unclear. There are elements of both.
Motherfucker, Brian, you should go to Hogan's karaoke and request that Jimmy Hart sing "Girls in Cars" with you.
I've thought about that, honestly.
Or Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield.
Either one. If they can play any of those songs, I will sing them, and I don't need the lyrics on the screen.
Nice. You memorized them word for word.
I don't have a choice. All right.
He has prepared his entire life for this.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And how it hasn't happened is a goddamn mystery, but we're waiting for the right moment.
So, yeah. So the dancers are all there on, like, various, like, scooters and bikes, tricycles, roller skates, Surrey carts, rather than actual cars. There's no actual cars.
How many times still to come? More coming up. Girls in cars. They kept teasing it. I was just like, what guy doesn't want to see girls in cars? And then they tune.
No, I mean, the closest we get, some of them are wearing like cardboard cutouts of cars or bikinis.
The most hastily assembled.
That's the closest we get.
Straight out of your kid's fucking third grade recital.
Every one of these dancers has that like super frizzy Jersey mall hair that was so popular at the time.
I mean, 87, baby. Think of
87. 87 was like peak Hairspray era.
Yeah,
clearly.
Vince and his stupid fucking wacky races intro was what blew the budget for all the cars.
Yeah,
that was the car budget.
The wacky races, man.
So during the song, Strikeforce pulls up on. They each pull up on dirt bikes, and Jimmy obviously he's upset that the girls are there, like they're all fawning over Rick and Tito, but not him.
Why the fuck are they on dirt bikes?
I don't know. They were probably going to do some BMX racing, you know.
I loved.
They're probably going to Hell Track after this. Who knows?
Strikeforce is a very odd team of Tito Santana, a Mexican, and Rick Martel, a Canadian, and like they're just Strikeforce. Doesn't matter. You don't need a gimmick.
Well, no, and you know, no offense, but Rick Martel's not just a Canadian. He is a very French Canadian.
Yeah, and Can-Am Connection before
Québécois.
Him and Tom Zenk were a team before this.
Right.
And then Tom Zenk left. Tito
and Tito already had like a singles run by this point.
Yeah, he was IC champ.
Tito was a 2-time IC champ by this point, and I think a tag champ as well.
Oh yeah.
They're both legit. Just it's strange to see them as this weird team that's like, what are we?
Is Tito in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay.
Rick is not. Rick Martel is not.
Yeah, Martel is not in the Hall of Fame. How is that possible?
The Killer Bees are not in the Hall of Fame. The Rougeaus are not in the Hall of Fame.
That's crazy.
The Hall of Fame, obviously, as we've established, is ridiculous.
They've got some omissions.
But yeah.
Cyndi Lauper should be in the Hall of Fame.
The tag teams that are not in the Hall of Fame is absurd. And
yeah.
Cyndi Lauper 100% should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
You get a whole fucking podcast about who should and should not be.
Oh my God. So still Jimmy keeps on singing, but then Jimmy gets carried away by this very large woman dressed as a school bus.
Oh, he literally.
And I was like, maybe one of the Oinkettes? I'm not sure.
Yeah. He gets carried away.
But
I didn't understand the girl coming out on a skateboard and a bicycle and a scooter.
No, none of it makes any sense.
Everything but a car.
Anything with wheels, I guess, counts as being girls in cars.
Girls and cars.
So I wrote down Jimmy Hart he's fantastic in this role. Like he's hilarious. He sounds like a horny Southern Mickey Mouse when he gets all excited. Oh my God!
Very accurate.
If Mickey Mouse was from the South and was like down to F.
I'm the Mouse of the South, baby.
Oh yeah.
Down to
Let's go.
Hogan's Beach Bar, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So after the commercial break, we see Macho Man and Elizabeth on stage. And I gotta say, I always preferred Randy's like sequined robe and bandana phase over like the cowboy hat fringe jacket.
Especially when he's coming out to the graduation song.
Yeah.
Pomp and Circumstance.
I don't know. Do you guys feel the same way? Like I like him in the bandanas and like the sequin robes more than the cowboy hat.
Yeah, I'm not into the gay cowboy look.
I mean, look, he was always.
I gotta say that I'm kind of a Macho King fan above all.
Right on. It was interesting times.
My first memory of him was as the Macho King. I was about 4 or 5 years old.
Same, yeah.
Mine is of him as this, because the Slammy Awards was one of my first memories of him.
Yeah.
So just those fucking glasses and that bandana.
Gotcha.
And the purple shirt being all cut up.
So anyways, Randy and Elizabeth are there to present the nominees for Best Vocal Performance. So, which is basically just all the various noises that these guys make. That's it.
And
so the first nominee is the Junkyard Dog for his growl. It's again just an award for noises these men make.
Yeah, he's an animal. He makes noises.
The second is the One Man Gang. Not yet Akeem the African Dream.
No.
I think the future
Akeem.
One Man Gang is a great name for either a wrestler or a porn star.
Yeah. It's a one-man gangbang, pal.
That's what. I didn't think of that when I was a kid, but now I'm like, oh, one-man gangbang is pretty interesting.
I'll never unhear that. Now that
You're welcome. Then my job.
I would never put that together, but thank you for that.
That's my contributions to the.
So the gang, he's nominated for his bellow. The third is Hacksaw Jim Duggan for saying ho.
Before Tugboat was One Man Gang.
The fourth is for Jimmy Hart just shrieking into the megaphone. And the fifth is George the Animal Steel for his wail. Again, pretty much the same thing as One Man Gang.
It's basically celebrating an award of best vocal performance by a bunch of retards screaming.
Basically.
Like we have to give an award to someone.
Oh my God, yeah. It's
like Jim Duggan is sweeping like he's the fucking Weeknd or Kanye.
Yeah, he is. He and Honky Tonk are cleaning up when it comes to the awards tonight.
Let somebody else win.
After the break, after the next commercial break, Gene and Jesse introduce the entire WWF roster as they perform "If You Only Knew."
This was kind of cool because there were so many lines in the song that I wasn't sure who sang what. And I could finally see them sing. I was like, why did I never think to look this up before?
I gotta say, the lip syncing is especially egregious here.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like they're not even trying to hide it.
Especially Miss Elizabeth with her contribution. It may involve.
You can tell that this was take number like 64 or 65, and everybody was just over it.
They all agreed on the same dance. Baby faces and heels. That same sway back and forth clap. If you only knew, clap.
I mean, for a sport that has such a sense of timing, it's crazy that most of these guys have no rhythm.
It's not that crazy. Yeah. These guys are all hopped up on God knows what.
Yeah, they're on Quaaludes and whatever else.
Quaaludes were still a thing, so
I'm sure
they're definitely that was the real sponsor to this event.
Yeah, Disco Biscuits and Dom Perignon.
Schlitz malt liquor. And
yes, good old Stumble Biscuits.
Taste the rainbow of Quaaludes in your...
So I'm sure most of the vocal tracks in the chorus are performed by Jimmy Hart, Coco Beware, and like other studio singers.
Right.
I like how Virgil is the only one who's not moving and clapping along.
I love watching Virgil in this. His dedication to his character.
He's the only one staying in character, really.
He doesn't have to sway. He doesn't have to sing. I don't have to do shit. Just make that meat sauce. Fuck my...
See Virgil.
Yeah, see Virgil. That's like a famous line from this song.
Yeah. Again, this is peak sports entertainment in a nutshell.
So the lines of the guys that I wasn't, not that it matters, but I didn't know that it was Hillbilly Jim, Butch Reed, Strike Force, and Heart Foundation singing their verses. Because I don't know. I didn't know Butch Reed was on this at all, but.
Yeah, he was there. It's so funny how this reminds me a lot of what Glow was doing during this time. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. They would do stuff like this too.
It was 2 years after We Are the World, so to me this is the WWF's answer to We Are the World.
It reminds me of like the Super Bowl Shuffle by the '86 Bears.
Yes, that too. And William Refrigerator Perry was at WrestleMania 2.
That's right.
So there was a involvement there.
Yeah, a lot of like football players were wrestling in that battle royal.
If only these dudes knew what Vince McMahon was going to do.
They knew.
They would have ran the hell out of this fucking studio. You want us to do what?
This makes the Super Bowl Shuffle look like Sgt. Pepper. Like,
I mean, it had Outback Jack involved because Crocodile Dundee was the biggest fucking movie of the year. 1987. We got to have Australian involvement, and then Jim.
No worries, mate.
Was Outback Jack really Australian?
I think he was.
I don't know very much about him.
And I can verify since Bushwhacker Luke was at Spencer's a week ago. I heard him say, "Thank you, mate." He said he called me mate. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, no, Bushwhacker Luke. He lives in Clearwater.
I know, but like, they're obviously from New Zealand for him to call me mate. Still, he don't know that I didn't recognize. Like, I didn't mark out to him. I should say I didn't acknowledge him. But
yeah, no, he's a regular at Hogan's Beach.
He's not Roman Reigns.
He didn't lick anybody.
No, I guess COVID put an end to that. Him licking people. Because I was waiting for it. I was like, watch, he's gonna lick someone. No, he didn't.
I mean, you gotta give him really good service, like at the store for that.
Yeah, maybe give him a can of sardines or something.
You gotta really wow him.
I'm not really willing to go that extra mile at this point.
With your customer service.
Unless it was a female wrestler.
Right.
Wendy Richter, maybe.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, did they announce the winner here?
So they fade out to commercial, and then after the commercial break, the roster is still on stage as they present the final award for Song of the Year. Now, Jesse, of course, believes that Honky Tonk Man is a shoo-in, and as Gene goes to the envelope, Jimmy Hart yanks it out of Gene's hand and opens it secretly, and the wrestlers pass it around until Sika takes the envelope and eats it. So apparently there is no winner for Best Song.
Ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns' father ate the results. So I was looking up.
I'm sure it was a proud moment for their family.
Roman Reigns had already been born, so we can't say that somebody swallowed those results and then shat out Roman. He was already born in '85.
And of course, his nephew would become the highest paid actor in Hollywood years later. Go figure.
Ridiculous.
Of course.
Nobody.
So
coming.
Apparently there's no winner, and of course they end it. Say goodnight, Jesse. Good night, Jesse.
Yeah, very fitting that there are no winners. Whether you watched this, you were a part of it, you produced it, nobody won.
Really?
Honestly,
I think we all won. And if you're listening to this, God bless you for listening.
It depends how you look at it.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone listening to this is having fun, but we're having fun doing it.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea that I had one night, and to see it
for sure
come to fruition was like, wow, you really did, huh?
So we cut to the credits as we get a reprise of If You Only Knew. And let's take a look at the credits for a second. One of the executive producers alongside Vince is Zia Dixter.
Oh, we got to look that person up on IMDb.
that can't be someone's real
I'm hitting her
name.
up. Hitting her up on Twitter.
And of course, the director is Kay Fabe.
Yeah, nobody wants the credit for that.
And choreography by Anita Mann.
Oh my God.
Anita Mann. That must have been Pat Patterson.
Yeah, it's Pat Patterson all day long. Terry.
I feel like Vince had a hand in the choreography too.
Especially his own.
Oh, 100%.
I'm pretty sure Vince was the one that taught those girls the choreography for Stand Back.
Yeah, you're Blinky, you're Winky.
and Nod.
Yeah.
You're Dipsy,
You're Tinky Winky, and you're Poe.
Right. Like, what is that? Teletubbies isn't going to be a thing for another 10 years. What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I had a vision of the future.
Hand me that straw and that tray. Damn it.
Years from now, I'm going to make a Canadian woman bark like a dog, and my wife's going to kick me in the nuts. It's going to be great.
A Canadian woman. And Bob Costas is going to call me out on television.
Right.
Fuck you, Vince, if you're listening. I'm sure.
So that's it, guys. That's the 1987 Slammies. We did it. We made it through.
I'm clearly a glutton for punishment at this point. There's no other. There's no.
I mean, do you feel better for having done this? Because that's what Vince McMahon promised us at the beginning of this thing.
I feel something. Like after you take a shit.
I feel like we have enriched the world and the lives of anybody who has seen this or heard this or.
Yeah, we make.
Yeah, I feel like this is our service.
It's
to
really
humanity.
A public service we're providing.
Well, yeah, it's more like community service because it was like punishment.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will live forever. We make movies. We make memories, pal.
We make movies, pal.
Listen to me gulp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat this water.
Gulp 3.
Well, anyways, you guys, if you've been listening to this long, first of all, God help you.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
But if you have, we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you've been able to laugh along with us for this just crazy trip down wrestling memory lane. It's a lot of fun for the three of us to get together and do this stuff. We want to do it more, and we'll do other Slammy Awards or other classic pay-per-views. We had talked about doing the 1992 Royal Rumble, which is one of our favorites.
Oh yeah,
that would certainly be.
I mean, feel free to make a suggestion. Dare us to watch something, I guess, and we will.
For sure.
Wrestling, really.
We will do this so you don't have to.
Yeah, fucking bring it on. We've already watched Charles Bard and this bullshit. We can watch anything else.
But this has been a lot of fun. Brian, you're a comedian, musician, former FCW referee. You are a former employee of WWE.
You can never. I consider the 2 paychecks I got from WWE reimbursement for having endured this fucking shit 35 years ago. I have 2 paychecks from WWE. Call it a day. Because now
whatever it is, it wasn't enough.
My connection is gone now. That's the memories. What's the song? Leave the memories alone.
Yes, by Fuel.
You can't take them away, man.
No, we can't.
It happened.
But what else have you got going on? Are you playing with your amazing comedy band, the Schmeltz, and anything else?
We just did a gig. We're probably doing another one soon. I don't have anything officially to announce but. You'll be the first person to know when I have something in the works, for sure.
Please do. Cory, C-Dub, you've got a brand new album with Chronochord, your wonderful band that just dropped. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's some 80s inspired electronic sounds. You can check it out at our YouTube, Chronochord, CHRONOCHORD, or you can purchase the album on Bandcamp.
For sure. I guess would synthwave be what you call it?
Synthwave, synth pop. It's just retro-inspired, 80s-inspired synth sounds.
Absolutely. It was composed and produced by yourself and the great Justin Cully, my old pal from Impatient Nation.
Absolutely, yes. And we'll have another album coming next year.
Gotcha.
Hell yeah, man.
Very cool. Very cool, man. You guys bust out some great stuff. So keep doing what you're doing. As far as me, like, obviously, if you listen to this, I mean, you know where to reach me. I'll post all my links down below. I'm still in Vertebreaker, still doing some stuff, but lately I've been playing a lot with my new Linkin Park tribute band that I finally got off the ground. That's been a fun new little side gig for me. And we've got a ton of shows coming up. Check us out, facebook.com/newdivideband as well. And you can always check out Vertebreaker, facebook.com/vertebreakerband. You could find me on Instagram and Twitter at JackXConnor. And I have all my links below here in the description. And now the Phoenix Report is not only on YouTube, which is where I started putting it, but I host it through Anchor, so it's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Stitcher, Google. All the various, all the major podcast platforms. You can listen to us wherever you like. Make sure you hit like, leave a 5-star review, please. I know it's not going to be easy for this one.
No, we're 5-star men. God damn it.
For sure. Call Uncle Dave, call Meltzer,
right.
Call whatever you need. But yeah, make sure you hit like, leave a comment. Go back and listen to some of the other episodes. Here on YouTube, I have a playlist of all the wrestling episodes, the wrestling related stuff that Cory and Brian and I have done over the years. And we want to do more, whether it's, movie commentaries or classic pay-per-views, classic shows like the Slammy Awards. We'd be happy to do those. There were a bunch of other ones too.
Oh God.
We could have a lot of fun with those, I'm sure. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Anything else you guys want to say before we close up here?
Look forward to doing this again. It's always fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back. It's not the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you leave a comment. You can always email me at jackconnorpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment. Tweet me with the hashtag Phoenix Report. However you want to do it, keep those requests coming in. Let us know what some of your favorite memories of the 1987 Slammy Awards or any classic wrestling reference you want us to put in here. And yeah, that's been awesome. So thank you guys as always for joining. Thank you, Cory and Brian.
Thank you
for being my 3-man booth as always.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you.
So for C-Dub, for Brian Connolly, this has been Jack Connor saying that this has been the Phoenix Report. Thank you for listening as always. And yeah.
Godspeed.
We watch the Slammies, and we're all a little dumber for it. Thank you. I guess that was my out.
We're all a little dumber for it. There's all of us guilty.
We're all a little...
Oh man.
Impossible to gain.
I endured the 87 Slammies, and all I got was this lousy LJN figure.
We need T-shirts made. Yeah, bumper sticker.
I didn't even get that.